What's going on, folks? Locky Late Night, very special edition, episode 21. It's been like 2 months since I've done one of these, but it couldn't have been for a better night. And just messaging Clint on a whim, I'm like, you know what? Let's do something. Let's talk some fights. And this is a special edition. We don't ever get weigh-ins that in the middle of the fucking night. Well, at least for the East Coast. On the West Coast over there for Clint, I think it's still like almost 10 o'clock, but not too bad. Clint, appreciate you hopping on. How's it going, brother?
It's going, man. It's going. Appreciate you throwing me the invite. The wife and kid are asleep, so trying to keep it down a little bit. But Degenerate's got to do his homework. What am I doing if I'm not watching the weigh-ins live at 10 o'clock to midnight?
Exactly. You'd have to do it in the morning anyway, and then do your video and all that shit. So fuck it. Let's go. I'm totally down to watch these live. So me and Clint actually, obviously the reason we're late, we're trying to find a link for the fucking weigh-ins. Normally the old faithful MMA junkie is on point, but they're not doing it. They're just doing live updates, like tweeting
Lazy
them
bums.
and shit. Yeah, lazy bums over there. Couldn't bring a camera with them. Come on, guys. But shout out to MMA Fighting. They're the ones that pretty much have the only stream that at least that we have been able to find. So I did comment it in the YouTube comment section if you guys want to follow along, and they kick off in about 5 minutes. So right off the bat, Clint, is there a guy that you're kind of worried about? Like for me, the only guy that really comes to mind is Tuhugov, right? He's the one who's had issues on the scales before. Is there anybody else, like off the top of your head? I'll bring up the card. Obviously, you can do that too. But are there anybody else? Is there anybody else on the card that notoriously misses weight or has issues? I'm trying to think now.
Not really. Tuhugov is the one that really jumps out at me as well.
Well, Hu Yazong, he's going down to 185 for the first time, so that'll be interesting. It looks like he's been in great shape. You remember everybody was talking about the Amadovsky fight before it fell through on fight day. Very hyped fight, but like everybody just kept putting up pictures of Hu Yazong just shredded as fuck, like just looking so much better than the last time we saw him. So it'll be interesting to see him on the scale. Nobody else, right? I think we should be safe.
The guys that have the quick turnarounds are ones I want to watch. So like
Drive.
Yeah. So you've got a couple of guys coming off of recent fights like Albert Duraev that was on the Contender Series. Those back-to-back cuts, man, and that's one.
Yep.
Yeah. So those are the kind of guys that I'm really going to be looking out for because this is a high-level card, man. These are mostly professionals that have been doing this and don't really have a record of missing weight or anything like that. So I think for the most part, it should be pretty clean.
Yeah, I'm looking at, nobody else should have issues. Maybe Dan Hooker, depending on how much more weight he put on, and he's making a pretty quick turnaround, right? He fought at 266 at the beginning of September. I think 2 weeks later accepts the fight.
He's been doing this for like 2 years now, though, with the quick turnarounds. He'll be fine.
Poor guy, though, right? He's the one that had, like, I don't even know if he's been home since he fought fucking Nasrat Haqparast, right? Like,
dude. I don't know how he's doing it. So like as a dad from that angle, like the video of him like seeing his daughter through the fence but still staying away for 2 weeks, like that broke my heart, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
I was like, I can't. There's levels of sacrifice that these fighters make, and then there's that shit that it's like, oh my God, like you go through all that, you eat right, you train, you destroy your body, and then you can't even see your kid. Like what the I love that they do it because I'm a fan of the sport and I'm a degenerate and I want to bet on it, but like, no.
Let's try to look at it glass half full, because the last time he had to do that, he got knocked out by Michael Chandler and had to do all that. But now he's coming off a win, Nasrat Haqparast. But I'm assuming he's going to be going home with another L, though. But at least this one, I'm pretty sure he got a better bump in pay, at least for this fight, just for doing the favor, right? And I don't know if you saw that video that DC just put out with his interview with Islam Makhachev. Have you seen that?
No, I didn't check that out.
Yeah, it just came out maybe within the last 4 or 5 hours or so, I think. But it's like a 20-minute sit down between the two. And it's a very interesting look into Islam a little bit. Like he's being playful, but he has like such like confidence about him and stuff. I've never really heard him talk in like long-ish form, like that kind of longish form. And it's pretty cool, especially with the relationship he has with DC. So that was definitely a fun watch. I highly recommend that. Yeah. But yeah, he's another guy that sucks a lot of weight too. So I'm interested to see what he looks like on the scale. Title fights, I think we should be safe, right? Jan, Sandhagen, Blachowicz, Teixeira, consummate professionals, just killing it every time they make it on the scale. So
none of those guys are missing.
Yeah, I think we got 2 minutes now until it kicks off, right? Yeah.
I'm showing 1 minute and 1 second before the stream goes live here.
Perfect.
MMAfighting.com, folks, if you're wanting to
Yes.
stream along with us.
Yeah. Shout out to Rami's like, Lock, you sound tired as fuck. Get some sleep, my dude. Hey, that's what the Locky late night's about, fellas. Come on.
Sleep when you're dead.
Yeah, you want that energy? Go watch the Lockcast. Go watch Clint's podcast on Mondays. We're chilling tonight. We're just watching the weigh-ins. Oh,
by the way,
that was
apologies
weird.
for the beanie here. It's cold as shit in my office. So
yeah, sorry. The stream for the fucking weigh-in started and it started playing some weird ass music. I'm like, what's going on? I swear I'm not that baked. But yeah, perfect. I've never watched one of those streams before, so I hope it's not too bad. But we'll see how it goes.
I kind of like what MMA fighting does. They tend to do something kind of like we do, where it's a panel of people, so they talk and they try to keep it entertaining, and they interact with the chat and all that good stuff throughout the show. So they're pretty good. I actually kind of like their stream, but
I don't mind the guys. I like Heck. I like Casey. I actually watched a CFL football game with Casey Layden in the lead up to UFC 149 when I was working with them. They gave us all tickets to go watch the Saskatchewan Roughriders take on the Calgary Stampeders. I think that's what their names are, but like I didn't give a fuck. I was like around all these MMA people, man. It was so fun. Like we took a cab back to the hotel from that game with me, Thiago Alves, Sarah Kaufman, and some of the UFC like media guys. That was fucking dope. And then Ariel, Casey, and a lot of the MMA guys were sitting by us watching the game too. But yeah, fun times. Like 10 years ago.
Awesome.
That was 10 years ago, bro.
Dude, we're old enough to say things were 10 years ago. That
I
sucks.
know. I was such a little kid. I was a baby.
God, dude, I'm over 30 years old. What am I, like Cody said on your show, like, what am I doing staying up late to watch these damn weigh-ins? My sleep schedule's not going to get corrected for like 4 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. My sleep schedule's been fucked. Like it's been in the gutter, but I like to do my work at night as well too, when everything's just nice and quiet, nice and peaceful. That's when I like to do my work.
Are we getting started quick here?
Damir Ismagulov, first to the scale, does not look in good shape. I don't know if that's just me. Like his coach is helping him. Yeah, their coaches are helping him get ready. What is happening?
And Damir, this is one of those spots where I'm like, I don't know about Damir, man. Mustafayev is no joke.
Oh, he looks bad.
Oh, he looks so bad.
Clint, I'm not going to lie. I was this close to placing a Ismagulov by decision bet. And again, I don't like... Oh, sorry. I can't even hear what they're saying. Fuck. Did he make it?
They haven't announced it yet.
$163.5.
163.5.
7.5 over.
And how do you look that awful being that far over? Wow. Is that going to cancel the fight?
Talk about drama right off the bat.
Starting early, folks.
You kidding me, dog? That's why we did this. Like Ismagulov kind of did this for us. Rile us up a little bit.
Sorry if my screen's shaking, everybody. I'm typing notes because I got to do my own damn show after all this is over.
I don't blame you at all. So next up is who's this?
Oh, that's the new guy, that Alan Nascimento, I think.
Oh yeah, Nascimento. Yeah, sorry. 126. Holy shit, dog. 163. Oh, they messed it up.
Off hot though. Oh my god.
They messed it up on the MMA fighting screen. They have it under Tagir Ulanbekov that he missed weight. It's actually Damir Ismagulov.
Well, we're just doing MMA fighting stream, correcting the MMA fighting stream.
Yeah, exactly. MMA fighting. Get your shit together. Oh, but yeah. Oh, Corey Sandhagen
coming up.
Wow. 120, 135. Looks in solid shape too.
He looks good, man. I'm telling you, I got plus 220 on Corey Sandhagen, and this is like such a dream spot for me to have such a big dog line on TJ Dillashaw last time around, and then get a fat dog line on Corey Sandhagen immediately after. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
Again, I know we're probably gonna lose some subscribers and some respect if he goes out there and gets torched, but pre-fight reads, we gotta stay confident. Gotta stay confident.
He's not getting torched though. Even if he loses, it's gonna be a war, man. That fight is gonna be an absolute battle.
Pitch up next, looks in good shape.
Yeah, 205 champion, folks. The dark horse realized.
That's crazy. Yeah, dark horse realized for sure. Not often do you get to say that. I honestly, Ismagulov was my dark horse, and this motherfucker come in 7 pounds overweight.
Ismagulov, I talked about it on my show that I was like, believe it or not, this is a step up in competition for Ismagulov. Like, as much as he's looked incredible, as much as he's looked great, he still hasn't fought anybody.
Yeah, you're right. I see similarities though between Mustafayev and Alves, like in terms of their explosiveness and kind of ability to blitz forward and hit hard. So there could have been some success on the Mustafayev side, but I felt as though Ismagulov would be nice and clean. But man,
I trust the grappling of Ismagulov too, though. I mean, if he decides that Mustafayev, if he needs to decide to change levels, we saw that in the last fight when he got hurt. He can wrestle; it's there.
146 for Lerone Murphy. He's good to go. Yeah, man, Ismagulov. I feel bad for the people that parlayed him earlier in the week. And Clint, like, again, I don't try to let the win sway me too much, but that was a very bad miss. And the last time I felt that way was Ketlin Vieira versus Yana Kunitskaya.
Yeah.
When Vieira weighed in on there, I didn't hedge it all there. I just let it ride because I already bet Vieira. But man, Ismagulov did not look good. I wouldn't be surprised if they canceled the fight.
I don't think that fight's going to happen.
7.5 pounds, dude. That's crazy.
I mean, for our sake, I hope they hold it together. I'll fade the shit out of them. But I don't think they're going to hold it together.
And Mustafayev KO, bet that shit right now.
Well, I was looking at betting Mustafayev from the get. So to see him come in like that, in that bad a shape, oh, hell yeah, give it to me.
Yeah. I think I recognize this fighter.
That's the kind of spot where, people think I look a little bit too far into it, but hell, I'll play a plus 200 underdog and lose every once in a while when the opponent is compromised.
Yeah. Ulanbekov 125. He's good. Ooh, high drama already, fellas. Sorry for not paying attention to the chat at all.
Oh, there's such a flood right now.
I know. Don't worry. Clint, you do your notes, do what you gotta do. But all right, we got Petr Yan up next. I kind of like the MMA Junkie stream so much more just because they don't talk. I get what they're trying to do, though.
Yeah, it's not meant for you and me. I guess that's the best way to put it.
135 on the nose for Petr Yan. Looks shredded as fuck. Good shit for him there. I can't believe we got about like 100 people in here, though, dude. Normally my lucky late nights are like 30 to like 50 max.
So how many do we have in tonight?
101 right now.
Oh,
I started off at like 120.
Up,
yeah. Everybody's in here. Shout out to everybody. I see you, Dan Goldstein.
It's the best combo in sports, Lock. The people know where to find the MMA. The 1-2 punch here.
Let's go. Oh, Hikaru Hamos. This is what I was interested in seeing. $146 on the nose. Not really on the nose, but yeah, 146. Good for him. Looks good. And Grant screaming out T-shirt. That will never die. Clint. That will never die.
I love that that's become a cult thing.
Like, we're here for Clint. Of course you guys are.
What's up, Jimmy? Thanks for hanging out, buddy.
Jan is going to murk Corey, says my guy J-Mac. Ooh, Verna Jandiroba coming right up.
Oh, here's my girl. Another sleeper pick of the night.
Thank you.
I haven't bet it yet.
You haven't bet it yet? Yeah. I'm waiting on it too.
I mean, why go early? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know the reboss money's going to come in.
Sure. I think Bet Online released something recently saying most of their money's been coming on Hebos. A lot of bets on Hebos.
That makes sense.
Fucking incoming. 116, Verna Janiroba, flexing them guns.
She's
Flexing them
goofing off
guns.
on the stage too, man. She's like winking at people and shit. I love it.
This is dope. So everything's been looking so good for the most part, other than Damir Ismagulov, who's like
just the one bump,
the only guy that, like the first guy that got on the scale, and since then it's been great.
And look, I mean, if you had to pick one person to struggle on the scale today, how far down the list would Damir Ismagulov have been?
True. I'm a fan of Ismagulov personally. Like, I just want to see him fight more. I thought he was, like I said, I thought he was the dark horse of the 155 division.
Yeah.
But God, that looked bad.
I never thought he'd be the one struggling on the scale.
Yeah. Think of who you're on, fuck. Looks good.
170 and a half. Man, that's one. Oh man, this guy Benoit seems legit to me, but at the same time, that's maybe the biggest jumping competition we've ever seen coming into the UFC.
Clint, violence is the spot.
The violence. I saw that.
I took it at 129. I know it's not 129 anymore. But I got it at 129.
That's a beautiful spot if you got it 129. Yeah. I got to go look and see what it is.
Akwan Amir Khani up next.
Mr. Punchable himself.
You handsome bastard.
Well, he's cocky as shit, too. You're handsome, you're cocky, just...
Bastard. Mr. Finland.
146.
I like it. You're like 2 seconds ahead of me, so I can hear you say it as John Anik is saying it, which is perfect.
I don't mean to steal from the GOAT. I'm taken away from Mr. Anik.
They're rolling. They are rolling right now.
Man, I mean, shit. I said I was going to hang out for about an hour. It might be over by then.
Yeah, exactly, right? Me have Oleg Shayjuk up next. Love me some Oleg Shayjuk. Another live dog.
Him.
Another live dog. No bet on it for me yet. Or, yeah, I probably won't bet it. I'm considering the decision prop. I think it's like plus 300 or something.
206.
He looks like a middleweight, to be honest. He's not a big light heavyweight.
That's my biggest issue, Locke, is that the fast hands, the speed, I love all that. Yeah. But he's small. I just don't think he belongs at 205.
And his ground game has left a lot to be desired. Let's be honest. Ooh, Makhachev coming to the
Here we go. Islam. His mouth is kind of hanging open there a bit. I don't know what that's about.
He's all right.
155 and a half.
155 and a half. He looks as he normally looks, I'd say. Not overexcited, not...
Yeah.
Again, it's a bad cut from what I've heard.
It's pretty tough with the Russians, man. They're just so even keeled all the time anyway. It's hard unless something's really wrong to be
dude, I'm not gonna lie. The last Khabib weigh-in was fishy, super fishy.
He missed weight, bro. He didn't make weight. That was some bullshit.
I don't like bringing out that tinfoil hat too much, but that was fishy. There's been a couple of times I feel, but that was definitely one of them.
Yeah, man, I was already taking the Gaethje shot on that, but when he came in looking the way he did, I was like, "Fuck yeah, Gaethje's gonna get him
for it." Yeah. I don't know what happened with Gaethje that night either. None of that wrestling that he apparently had showed up.
It was just a brawl, man. Even after the fight, Khabib said that Gaethje's the hardest person to ever hit him. So, he did it almost as well as anybody could have.
Yeah. Dan Hooker up next.
All right. No, he looks fine. Yeah. 156. He's feeling himself.
Yeah. He's shredded, dude. He's a lot more ripped than I thought.
Only got one DFS lineup with him, but
unfortunately it's not gonna matter when you're getting smished.
Yeah, I know. Man,
it's so hard to bet against Makhachev. So hard.
The biggest thing with Makhachev and Hooker is the trips. He struggles with trip takedowns, and that's where Makhachev, like when he fails on that first attempt, he'll hit that trip. And I'm like, the second, the third, the chain wrestling, like that'll get Hooker to the floor. I know it will.
It's the relentlessness, right? It's just the going after. That's what makes them so, like him, Chimaev, Duraev, like all these fucking Chechens. And speaking of Duraev, there he is.
Right on cue.
Is that Duraev? Yeah, I don't know why the fuck he looks so different. Yeah, he has Ilya Latifi vibes about him at certain points.
He does. He's just a miniature.
Depending on the angle you're looking at his head.
That's funny.
Let's see.
86.
86. Nice.
Apologies again, everybody, for the screen shaking. I'm taking my notes. This is not my usual
relentlessly
setup.
jotting down notes.
Gotta get in, because I'm gonna wake up in the morning, be half asleep, and try and do my own damn show.
Again, I told Clint before we went live here, this is a half professional show. This is, no real bells and whistles. Just fucking chill out. So we got a lot down already. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
What's up, Triple
12,
J?
13 more fighters to go. 14 more fighters to go. Not bad. For a 15 fight card, we got 16 fighters out of the way. Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
All right, let's see what the chat is in here. Yeah, Dazval's saying 106 live viewers. That is true.
Let's go. Everybody better smash that like button, though.
Yeah, what are we sitting at for those likes?
I have no idea. I'm just,
let's see.
autopilot here.
47 and 1 hater. That's fine. That's fine.
That's a pretty good ratio.
48. There we go. 49. Now see the call to action, Clint. That's why you're a fucking mastermind.
people get so like annoyed with that, but I'll be honest, man. When I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm just tuning in. I'm just hanging out. I'm like, hey, these are my boys. Like, I just want to chill. And they go, hit the like button. I go, oh, shit. Like, let me hit the like button.
Sure. I get it. You're right. For sure. You should see this. Are you a Office fan?
Am I a what?
The Office fan. That
yes,
TV show?
Of course, man. Of course.
So my my mother-in-law made this for me.
Nice. Got your own mug. I love it with the star and everything.
With the MMA lock that I had and all that shit.
That's fucking great.
Dope. She got me like 2 of them for Christmas one time. I was like, oh shit, like, thank you, I appreciate it.
That's too funny, dude. No, I love The Office. That show gets me every time.
I'm rewatching it again. Along.
I was just gonna say, you can just put that show back on. Like, it doesn't matter where you jump in, it's gonna make you laugh.
Yeah, that show for me and Parks and Rec, like they're like just the same for me.
I like Parks and Rec too. I also like. Have you seen The League?
Oh yeah, I watched like the first 3 or 4 seasons. I'm not a big NFL guy, right? So I didn't really dig the fantasy side of it, but like they're good actors. I liked fucking Taco. Taco is one of my favorite.
Taco's hilarious. But if you actually play fantasy football, which I do, like it's twice as funny if you actually get into the football stuff.
All right, we got Mrs. Simp herself.
Yeah.
The simp
Simps in the chat,
eater.
Show yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. There's we have 111 in here. At least 96 of you are simps. 115 and a half.
Yeah, she tried to hold it together. She couldn't keep herself from smiling. There it is.
She looks high.
I'm gonna say she looked a little rough around the edges, didn't she?
She didn't look like she had the most energy, that's for sure. Dude, Jandiroba, regardless of this fucking win, Jandiroba is the side, in my opinion.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. Like, I think she's going to be physically stronger. She's not getting subbed. She's too good on the ground. And the way that Ribas acts when she gets hit, like, Verna hits hard, man. And we saw the improvements in her striking in her last fight. I think she could spoil the show here, even if it's like a grinding 15-minute squeeze out 2 rounds type of thing. I absolutely think Jandiroba's got a shot here.
I think she's going to land takedowns, and I think she's going to dominate on the ground. Like, I don't think Ribas's takedown defense is that great. You know what I mean?
I don't think her takedown defense offense is that great. Like, she took down Dern. Okay, Dern has a 0% takedown defense rating.
Yeah. Pretty
you
much.
Touch her leg and she'll fall to her back. No problem.
Who do we got up here? Is that
That's Benoit, 171.
Sampano?
Dude,
Yeah.
that guy, I'm telling you, like, there's something about him, dude. French,
Yeah, it's a huge step up, but
a
like all of
beast,
his
though.
wins have come by finish. Might as well bet the violence if you expect him to win. But again, I understand the plus money shot that you're trying to take on a guy like that. But again, just to secure that extra level of confidence, like in case Zaleski does go out there and land on something on him, covers both sides.
The only thing for me, though, is that I could see Zaleski being too tough to finish. Because if this guy's main squeeze is jiu-jitsu, we know Zaleski's a high-level black belt. Like, I could see him just chaining takedowns. You know what I mean? I could see him smothering him.
This guy sells out. Like, he's submission over position, like, all times. You got Kopilov up next.
Yep, hop it off. Which, this one's the one that might spoil the show for me.
Don't you dare. Clint, don't you dare.
Dude, I've got Drive in a parlay, but it just, man, it hit me the other day. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Actually, not the other day, this morning. I parlayed Duraev. I broke a rule, man. I swore to myself that I would not parlay Contender Series fighters in their UFC debut.
Clint, this guy's an exception. Clint,
I feel like he is
ACA champion.
I know.
Like ACA is like the top of regional promotions.
Yeah.
This guy fought the tough. This is different than a guy coming up from the LFA scene or fucking Cage Warrior scene. This is different, Clint. I think you can make an exception to that rule. You're fine.
I mean, the parlay's already in. The parlay's already in, but I'm just like, shit, man. Like,
heat is done.
Khabibulov, he's better than he showed his first fight. I know it doesn't look good getting subbed the way that he did in the third round, but he's still better than he showed. So
I believe we will see a better version of him than we saw last time around, just because like that seems to happen in some debuts, right? And the kid looks good on the regional scene. I'll give him that, but I just don't think he's ever dealt with the pressure and type of pace that he's going to feel from Duraev here.
That's
Both
fair.
guys have been comfortable with just staying on the outside and letting Kopilov do his work. Duraev will not do that. if Carlos Roberson can put on a little bit of a pace on him, I think Duraev could do the same, land some takedowns, beat this kid up on the ground.
Oh, here comes Mustafayev. Let's see if they let him weigh in at 160.
He should, right?
Right.
Isn't
if they agreed to like last minute catch weight or something.
Just some sort of 159 and a half.
156. Man's on point.
Okay.
Hey, there's Uncle Wheezy in the chat, another Janjaroba believer.
Yeah, for sure. Where's he at? Right there. Shout out my guy, Uncle Wheezy. Good God, I can't believe we pulled a crowd tonight. 1:30 a.m. Eastern time.
These are all the true degenerates, and then the people who stay up to watch our shows normal time because they're in a different country that are like, oh fuck yeah, like
exactly.
They're still sitting at their work desks or some shit and tuning in.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweet out that they're at work watching us.
I love it.
Ooh, Glover to share up next.
Glover. I don't want to bet against this man.
Me neither. I'm picking Blachowicz, but I'm not touching this fight.
The
fan in me is taking over. Like after the Sandhagen fight, my job betting is done. I'm not touching this fight. I'm not touching this fight. I'm cheering for Glover.
205.
You see the exchange between them in the washroom?
Where in the washroom?
Blachowicz is like, I got a gift for you, man. I got a gift.
Oh, yes.
And then Glover's like,
not
the belt? That was fucking jokes.
I thought it was funny that you said you're going to like it, though.
yeah, exactly. Leon Nestastug, shout out a guy, I believe, from Scandinavia.
Yeah,
7:22 a.m. for him. Jose Lopez saying he just lost his NBA parlay. Clint, I don't bet NHL ever, but I tell somebody that I'm following on the Minnesota Wild, and I was watching it. As I was smoking my spliff, and I saw them give up that last minute open that goal. And God damn it, motherfucker!
Dude, a little piece of you just dies inside.
I don't know why I degened out on something I know absolutely nothing about, but I trusted the person that I was telling. At the end of the day, it's my fault, but still.
Yeah, that's how it goes, man. Hey, I got to tell you, man, I started looking more into hockey and I started looking more into football because I had fun tailing and betting But it makes you so angry when you lose because you put the blame on somebody else. You're like, I tailed this guy. I trusted this guy. Like, I put my money there. You said I was going to win. And it doesn't feel good, even though, like, man, we tell people it's like the best bettors in the world are going to go 55, 56% over the course of a year. Like, we know you're going to lose half the time. Shit, the way I play, I lose 70% of the time. But the only reason I'm positive is because I play plus lines. Like, so it's understandable people get frustrated when they tail, but you can't expect to go 100% just because you tailed somebody else. You know what I mean? I get it though. It's hard not to get frustrated.
So are you telling me you're slowly starting to like turn your focus into team sports, specifically NHL and NFL?
No, not at all. I've been betting NHL and NFL for like the last 2 years. I'm just I'm slowly creeping more and more into taking it semi-seriously.
It's for me, it's tough for team sports because I believe that's those are the spots where you can believe a little bit more, not believe more, but like use statistics a lot more to your advantage compared to, fighting, which is, high variance at times. Sure, if you get a big enough sample size, you'll be able to get decent enough statistics, but still always skewed. It's not like it's going to be the same thing every single time out that person fights compared to a basketball team who, they pretty much play almost the same way every single fucking night or adjust depending on the team that they're playing with. But again, it's a lot of statistics and all that type of stuff. I'm not sure if I could get that deep in. People have their systems and all that type of stuff. Like,
that's part of the problem, man, is I'm so much like my knowledge, my back class from watching the UFC forever, getting to know these fighters individually. Like, I don't grind into the stats like that. I use them to support my angles. I use them to support my arguments. But that's it. So like basketball, baseball, where they crunch it down to like, man, there's going to be 260 points in this game. So we'll set the line at 259 and a half and someone loses by a fucking hook. It's
sometimes it's better to either just eat the chalk or try to go the other way.
Tahugov, what was it? Somebody help me
146,
out. 146, thank you.
Yeah.
He looked good.
Looks like he was crying. I don't know about you. His eyes are so red.
Well, I mean, I think it looked like he wasn't sure he was going to make it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, he was crying, dude.
I wonder what's going on there.
Interesting.
Jimmy the Drunk in the chat saying, anyone see the Strickland on Hilwani show yesterday? I saw the clickbait titles. I didn't listen to it.
Appreciate the super chat there. Yeah, that I just watched the clips depending on the fighter. I'll watch the full interviews of fighters that I'm very much interested in hearing from, but I know what I'm getting with Sean Strickland. Why is anybody surprised? You know what I mean? Like, it's known now. The guy's a psychopath.
He really is, man. And I mean, the only part that I saw was the thing that I guess he was like a neo-Nazi. And then after he picked up MMA, he realized that he was just angry, and that kind of actually helped him get over it, which from, a human being standpoint of things, I'm glad he's not a Nazi anymore.
Yeah, exactly. MMA saved his life instead of being
he's still a psychopath though.
Racist fuck. Yeah.
Oh shit, Jerry on the scales.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He's supposed to be winging.
That ponytail.
I know, right?
My hair wants to grow up to be Jerry's hair.
What's the weight?
I mean, are they just going to give him the belt? Weight? Like, no matter who wins, they're going to be like, and winner by future champion Jerry Prochazka.
Yeah, both these guys are probably going to retire after this fight anyway. I would love to see Glover win the belt right off into the sunset. Don't bother defending it. Just go.
I mean, the fucking 42. It's his birthday today. You know that he's gonna try and defend it. We're gonna watch Glover get murdered if he wins the belt in his next fight. You know that.
By Prochazka.
By Prochazka.
MMA Triple J asking Damir fight canceled.
Not officially.
Not officially, not that I've seen. And yes, you are correct, Clint. Dead man walking here with Tybura. Give me Tybura, Duraev, and all the money. Especially inside the distance.
Well, he missed weight. 229 for Tybura. Dude, he lost a lot of weight.
229? No. 229. Wow.
You know that power gut that he's always walking around with? That ain't there.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
Yeah. What was his weight last time?
Something, Marcin's been that guy that's been able to pull it out in his last couple wins, but he's really been scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to his opponents.
Wow. Clint, 251 last time.
Holy shit.
251. He shedded, what was he, 229 he came in at?
Yeah.
It's fucking 22 pounds right there.
That is a massive swing. So the only thing I can think of with that is that if he's valuing speed,
possibly
he may want to strike with Volkov, which I'm fine with.
Yeah,
go ahead, take your shot, buddy.
Since the Ben Rothwell fight, he's been going down in weight. So Rothwell fight 263.
Oh, people in the chat saying 249. The guy might have read it wrong.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay. The MMA fighting
he did not
site
look
does say 229.
He does not look. Let me try to rewind that a bit.
Sorry, folks. I've got one ear in. I'm listening to Lock. Obviously, the guys on the MMA fighting are talking too.
Wow. Okay, 249.
249. Okay,
they did correct it right after. All right, thanks, Chad.
But they did say, did they actually say 229 the first time? Because I swear
they said 229 the first time, and then somebody else said 249.
I'm like, I did not mishear that.
Yeah, I started talking way too quickly after that. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Either way, though, he looked slim.
The chat is losing it too.
He looked
like 249. No way in hell he's 229. I know. That's what I'm like.
You're not allowed to make mistakes on live streams.
Jeez,
you're not.
Guys. I know. You get torched for sure. Shout out to the 130 live viewers that we got now.
Hey, that is their right, though. They tuned in. They're smashing the like button for us. They're
just like
out.
we criticized MMA fighting for fucking up the Damir Ismagulov thing, people are allowed to torch us. So
that's right.
We appreciate you guys. So half an hour in, and we're pretty much down to like the last quarter of the card. 1, 2. We got Volkov, Jingliang, Ankalaev, Yazong,
we're not even waiting on the big boys.
Gamzatov, Uzdemir, and Chimaev.
Ankalaev coming up next.
How are you so far ahead of me? God damn it, Clint.
I don't know. Good old American internet, I guess.
Shut up. We're all good up here north of the border. All right, now I see it. All right.
I ain't got some abs popping on Ankalaev.
$205.5. He even had a fucking video that just went out with Glover to share as well. I'm not sure if you saw that. Like Glover was talking to him through Google Translate, and I think he was saying like, you will be champ in 2022 or something like that. And then they hugged and took a picture together.
That's awesome.
Some real heartwarming shit this week, Clint.
All the feels, Lock. I can't handle it.
Good God.
Triple J.
I was just about to ask that.
We're just flying at breakneck speed right now with these weigh-ins. I'm gonna bet Mustafayev. I had a sneaky upset potential lean on Mustafayev before this thing even happened. The way he looked, though, hell yeah, I'm betting Mustafayev.
Yeah, we got Li Jingliang up next.
This man terrifies me.
He hits the target there, 171. Zach Phillips saying, appreciate y'all's work, gentlemen. Appreciate you as well.
Appreciate you tuning in.
Just as much time for you guys to take out of your day to watch us.
Now, do we have a lull here in the weigh-ins? Is anyone going to come storming in on the scale?
Who knows?
Because I got a $100 free bet I got to find a home for, Lock.
And I think you know where you're going to put it.
Do I, though? I'm betting Magomed Mustafayev right
exactly.
now. Well, no, that's just gonna be a regular bet. I still,
Yeah.
the free bet, man, the free bets are tricky because you got to decide: are you going for it? Like it's no
It's free
loss. You know what I
money.
mean? It's free money, so you can swing for the fences,
Yeah.
or you can play it safe and just try to chip up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm very much in the go for it camp of things. That I'm like, it's no loss. You know what I mean? It's not going to hurt me if I don't hit it. So
I've made a couple degenerate sprinkles. Again, nothing official, just for fun, just for kicks that I'd be more than happy to share with you in case any of them tickle your fancy.
I like the sound of that.
I
When we have a
mean,
couple minutes between weigh-ins to kill, I like that.
Is there somebody up right now?
Yep, coming up.
All right.
Shamil. Very curious to see this one.
My fucking stream needs to catch the hell up. This is crazy.
Dude, at this rate, like, my guy Volkov better not wait until like the last 5 minutes to weigh in or some shit, because we're gonna get through the whole thing if it keeps going at this pace.
Yeah. Doesn't look too bad.
Looks like he lost some weight.
Hey, he looks in better shape. That's true. 206.
206. Wow, look at those abs. He put them work in.
Looks in good shape.
No, that'll keep me off all Chuck if I'm being honest.
For me, I'll probably still hit that decision prop. That would be one of my degenerate sprinkles that I'm going to do. In terms of some spots, excuse me, you can let me know when there's another fighter coming up.
Okay. Yep, we got one coming.
All right, look at that. Who do we got here?
Brett Z. Yes, I've heard that a couple times before.
Let's see what Brett Z is saying.
Wow, look looks like big he is.
Yeah. Oh, 186. Hu Yazong.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Dude, I might throw that blind dart.
On who?
Who? Yeah.
Interesting. I did bet Petrisky round 1 plus 250, since that's like the bulk of his win condition anyway. And you're telling me that's what, 28% implied there? I think that's like the reason he's minus 230 is because he's so dangerous early. So I'd rather take that round 1 prompt right there.
Yeah.
In terms of other just sprinkles, I have a little bit on Ricardo Hamos plus 2,000 round 3 against Tuhugov. And then in turn, I have Tuhugov round 1 plus 700 in case he starts him early. I did put a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory bet on round 3 Li Jingliang plus 3,500.
Okay. Lock,
right?
Don't talk to me about 3,500, man. I'm gonna be sick. Let me tell you, I'm gonna be sick because I was locked and loaded. We're talking the bet was in, my hands on the mouse. I'm hovering over the accept button on the round 3 for Young because Omari Akhmedov gasses out in round 3 in every single fucking fight. I had it locked, I had it loaded and ready to go. And then I went, you know what? He got taken down so much his last fight. If he just gets taken down and rode on, then Omari's not going to gas out. I talked myself out of it. And then what does he do? He goes out there and TKOs him in the 3rd round. I had a 35-1 on a silver platter that I kissed away.
I'm certain if I look back on my record, I will be able to find a couple times I've tried to fade Omari Akhmedov in round 3 and it's never cashed. Until the time I refuse to do it, which is this fucking time.
That's the thing. I've done it every single time. I said I will bet round 3 against Magomed or every single time until it hits because it's gonna. And then same thing. Didn't do it and it hit.
But yeah, again, Chimaev, Jingliang plus 3,500 round 3. I had to take the shot there.
That's
just in case.
Just he carries that power late. He's knocked out a couple people in round 3 before. Yes. That's on the table if he doesn't get out of there.
Hu Yazong.
That's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah, round 2, round 3. That's not too bad of a look. I do understand that, but yeah, I'd like Petrisky round 1 plus 250.
So I was looking at again $100 free bet. I was looking at Hu Yazong just by knockout at 5-1. Because is he really submitting?
True. No, it would have to be like a Rodolfo Vieira type gas job from Petrisky to get subbed by a guy like Hu.
Well, I know Petrisky gasses, but Like, does he gas to that level? And is Hugh even going to go for it? Hugh's the kind of kid that strikes me as working with his hands. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's just going to pound.
I do feel like who will likely get him out of there if this gets into the third round and we get Podrosky working a lot, right? Like if he does get the takedowns and really working for submissions but not able to get anything, he will likely be gassed out by the third round. That who hopefully has enough gas to go out himself, right? You're assuming that he has a gas tank to do it, but we don't know.
Official, folks.
Oh God, he did it! Of course you did it. Of course you did it. Yeah.
You want to hear my tinfoil hat theory, Lock?
Hit me.
Murphy by submission, 14-1.
Oh yeah, I think I heard you were saying on the on your show with Luke, right? I think Luke did it with you this week. Is that correct?
Yep. Luke did it with me. Both Luke and Brady have ponied up and said they will PayPal me $100 if it hits. They're that confident that he won't do it. But if you Lock, I know you watched the tape. If you go back, he rolls for anacondas. He jumps on guillotines. That kid is looking for his first sub win. He is hunting it. He wants it.
Amir Khani, like at times, will shoot desperation takedowns and stuff, especially late when he gets tired. That's kind of my.
He gets tired. He sticks that neck out there.
Yeah, that's kind of my angle on the Hamos round 3 against the Hugov, who kind of does the same thing there, right? Another big one, plus 2,600 on Ankalaev sub. I think that's always live considering how much he usually dominates his opponents when the fights get to the mat. And I think he's going to have a pretty sizable advantage here over Oezdemir if he's able to keep him down. But again, never had a submission victory in his career, so I kind of get it.
That's one that I get it. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have no evidence that he's ever going to look for it.
Yeah.
So
again, at plus 2,600 though, like I'm just like, take my fucking $50. I'm good. DFS by the numbers. Shout out to Brady. Saying Huya Zong round 3 plus sub round 3 plus 5,000.
I'm looking at betting the round 3, but why the sub, Brady? Talk to me, buddy. Why the sub? Because that, like, I tried the sub with Chris Daukas, because we know he's a black belt. We know he knows jiu-jitsu. He just likes working with his hands. So that's where I'm like, that bet's never going to cash because he's always going to punch first. You know what I mean? So I kind of get the same vibe from who. Why are we looking sub? Somebody tell me.
Joe Rogan's forehead wrinkles lock parlay of the night, which is pretty much the lock of the night. Derive and Volkov. Feel like those guys cruise here.
Yep. Volkov is my 7-unit bet. We brought it back for this one.
Dan Goldstein, Clint, I've already bet Lerone sub round 2 plus 8,100 and round 3 plus 10,100 sub on a gassy fin.
Dan is rocking with me.
Those lines sound made up. Like that sounds made up, dog. I don't know what book you're getting that shit from. Liddy Main, appreciate the $4.99 chat. He's saying, let's go Corey Sandhagen, 150 on a 3-leg parlay with Zaleski inside the distance, Hamza inside the distance, and Sandman KO decision, plus 1102 odds. I do not like that. And he's saying, you two are my fave content creators. Appreciate it, my man. We truly appreciate your support. My guy Ben Peak, shout out to my guy Ben Peak here, saying Alexa Grasso is someone I always look to bet by submission because she has sub attempts even without a submission when I get it, Clint. Yeah.
When they're looking for it, eventually you know they're going to get it.
There was the Miguel Baeza one, right? Where he choked out whoever that Japanese kid was.
Perfect example.
But yeah, never had a sub win, plus 1,400 sub prop.
Dude got choked out
by Bilal the fight before that.
You're going to swing and miss 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's a lock or anything, obviously.
That's why it's plus 1,400 and we take a shot, right? Let's see who else is in here. Eric Coate just took Mustafa by KO plus 600.
I like that.
We got somebody that's a very big believer in Marcin Tybura in the chat here.
Good luck.
Good luck. That's all I gotta say too.
I mean, hey, after he lost to Curtis Blades, that man is a changed fighter. So good luck.
I'm pretty sure his next fight was the Walt Harris fight, and he put on that's when he put on the weight.
It was like
That's
20,
where you're
30 pounds
like,
of muscle.
yeah. And then the funny thing was Walt Harris was the one that lost weight, if you guys remember that. And he came in like super good shape after he got pummeled by Overeem before. Toby Kinsella saying, what do you think of DC commentary? Personally, I really don't like it. I think they should put him on Contender, put Felder and Bisping on pay-per-views instead. I like the daddish vibes that DC brings to the commentary booth. You know what I mean? Like he's the for fun guy. Like, sure, he can throw in an analysis every now and then, which is great. Obviously, he's a great wrestler himself. But like, there are times where it's like he's just repeating the guy's name. Like, he's just saying, John, look at that. Like, come on, John. Like, there's just times where he gets a little bit too caught up in certain situations.
Yeah.
Paul Felder is my
He has fun
favorite.
with it,
I don't know
though.
about you. Paul Felder is my favorite. Perfect amount of technical breakdowns and comedy and like casualness. I'm not sure who your favorite is. Who's one of your top guys?
I actually like this. May be cheating a little bit, but I like when Dom and Bisping are on together because Dom has such little dog syndrome. Like, he goes after everybody, and Bisping doesn't take shit, so they end up like picking at each other between like the breakdowns, and that always gets me. It makes me laugh.
Bisping's getting better. DC, like, I can understand why people might be upset with him at some certain points. Yeah, that's really about it. Cruz, I don't really have much of an opinion on. I don't mind when he's around.
See, I think Cruz is not fun enough. Like, his technical analysis is spot on, but it takes somebody else being there to make him funny.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
To give him the personality.
Exactly.
Bleed in the chat. What's going on, my guy?
Oh, what's up, Bleed?
He has lots of bets this weekend. I am a little bit loose with the trigger myself this week.
See, and I got a little too loosey-goosey in PFL, so I'm a little tight on the trigger this week.
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, looking at the card, though, I don't mind. This is one of those ones where you can make an argument for just about everybody.
Yeah. For me, it was, again, Dariya, Volkov. I just feel like those are in my opinion, the two safest spots on the card, guys that should just go in there and just wreck.
Yep.
And then I got the Sandhagen play. That's, I don't want to call it a value play because I just think the line is a little bit out of whack here, especially with the kind of archetype that I believe Sandhagen will be able to bring to the table. So I had to take a shot on him there. The under 2.5 in the Zaleski fight, I feel like that's just going to be utter violence. So I got some on there. And then that Petrosky round 1 half unit plus 250. And I'm still waiting on Jandaroba. Probably a unit and a half deep there. And I was going to do Ismagulov decision. It is not happening anymore, Clint. Not happening. I'm good. I'm staying away from that.
We'll see what happens there. We'll see if that fight even stays on the card. I did go ahead and bet it just because of how awful he looked. I'm taking the dog shot on Mustafayev. But, we've seen guys like I've been caught with my pants down a couple times. Guys like, Jose Aldo and Edson Barboza that are just walking skeletons on the scales. And then they fuel back up and they end up putting on a perfect performance and they're fine. Now, this case, I already was leaning towards Mustafayev having a shot in this fight pre-flop. And that's where this just reinforces the fact that I'm going to take that dog shot because because Ismagulov looks so bad on the scales. So just a little positive reinforcement, enough to push me over the edge and take the shot.
Yeah, I've gone from betting Ismagulov decision to just passing on this fight in general. Maybe take a look at the over 2.5. But again, the Mustafayev KO seems to be live here as well. So I'm just going to stay the fuck away from that. My other consideration was Ulanbekov by decision. I feel like that's a pretty decent spot around plus 115. But again, let me, I got a loose trigger, like I said. Let me just reel that back a little bit and just try to be tight a little bit. But been on a little bit of a good run the last couple of events here. Hopefully 267 can swing that momentum into 268 because that is a great card as well, which
it's
I can't
another
wait
good one.
To get into. Is there one fight, like, I don't know if you have the chance there to just pull up the card there. Is there one fight that kind of sticks out to you outside of the big three fights?
Oh, I was gonna say, because it's the main event, dude. I've been waiting for Usman Colby. I've been waiting for that fight since the first one because people forget. They don't want to hear it because of the whole Colby broken jaw thing. Well, they don't want to remember the first 20 minutes of that fight where it was a back and forth war where you had no idea who was going to drop. You had no idea who was winning. I had it 2-2 going into the fifth. Like, yeah, Colby got caught in round 5. He got put down in round 5. So Usman won rightfully so. It is what it is. I'm telling you, I'm going to bet Colby Covington next weekend, man, because that was a coin flip fight. That was a 50-50 fight. These are the best 2 guys on the planet. So, like, that's the one.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to dig too far into it. And if I'm being honest, UFC 267 is a free card, and it's more stacked than UFC 268 is.
For you guys, Clint. We still gotta pay for it up here. Fuck.
I apologize. I guess Billy Q and Shane Burgos is a hell of a fight. Yeah, that's going to be high-paced and intense. Seeing if Frankie Edgar doesn't die again will be fun.
Yeah.
And then can't wait to finally cash a ticket on Bobby Green, because he's going to beat the shit out of Al Iaquinta.
I think so. You think it's going to be that lopsided? Interesting.
You know what? I haven't done my homework, so that's just me, like, just pre-flop right off the top. Like, Al's got one foot in the grave already. He's not taking fighting seriously anymore. Bobby Green's beating people's asses and getting robbed by the judges.
I don't know, so man. I feel like there's times where we just underrate Al Iaquinta. Like, the guy, remember when he came out in that Kevin Lee rematch and just absolutely whooped his ass? Like, I feel like he's still capable of those types of performances. And given Bobby Green's track record of just like always fighting really close to the level of his competition, that gives me a little bit of pause. If Iaquinta is 75% in the game, I think he can make it competitive enough. Again, pre-tape.
I kind of thought that too, and then he got whooped by Donald Cerrone. So,
yeah, exactly. But that's like Cerrone in the zone as well, who's like a mythical creature that every so often that exactly. Every so often that he fucking shows up, right? I don't know. I got to tape that one for sure. But I will say this: Kamaru Usman is probably the only guy I don't think I'll ever bet against. But if this line gets crazy out of whack, like if I get plus 300, plus 350 or something on Colby, then it will force my hand. Sure, I can take the decision prop. Again, it shouldn't. But we know like the hype that everybody has in terms of like recency bias, right? There was so much hype on Kamaru Usman knocking out Jorge Masvidal the way that he did, finishing all the guys, Gilbert Burns the way that he did, even beating Masvidal the first time as well, right? This hype is just ballooning, and people are just saying, what has Colby Covington done since that fight? He beat Tyron Woodley. That's it. That's all he's done. But we've been seeing all these improvements from Kamaru, and I feel as though people are just going to latch onto that and be like, oh, his striking's gotten way better. There's no way Colby's going to be able to keep up now. And I could see that argument being made all week. I won't be one of those making that argument, because you have to give Colby his due. The guy is the second best welterweight, maybe the best, because we have to see this fight happen again. I don't care if they go 0-2. Like, if Colby goes 0-2 to this guy and it's still a close fight, just like this last one was, give us a third one. Because there's maybe if Chimaev pans out to be a legitimate guy, maybe we'll throw him into the mix eventually. But nobody's topping Colby or Kamaru until they get too old to do this thing. No fucking way.
I agree. And Carl in the chat, I do not think that Bobby Green beat Fiziev. I think that round 2 was very close, and with the right judge, you could have gotten a Bobby Green scorecard. I do think that Bobby Green went to a draw with Rafael Fiziev because he beat the shit out of him in the 3rd round, and that should have been a 10-8. And I believe that if you gave him another 60 seconds, the Fiziev train would have been derailed. That's what I believe. So I think that fight should have been scored a draw personally. And I think he's in there with the best of them every single time. So give me a guy that practically hung it up and is coming on back. Yeah, I'll take Bobby Green there.
My guy DXJC saying Luke beats them all in a few years. I don't see it, man. With the wrestling advantage that these guys have, and the cardio and their striking's finally coming up to par, Luque is dangerous, yes, but I think he needs to get them out of there. Otherwise, he's not winning a 5-round decision against these guys. There's no way. There's no better minute winners than those two guys. I apologize if I'm sounding brash about this, but you guys need to know this. Those two guys are the best guys in the division.
Bobby Green is only 150. I'm gonna go bet that.
Oh yeah, you're already on that pre-tape. No work, nothing. You're on it.
I just, I'm gonna have to like do the research tomorrow, because I don't want that line getting away from me. If he's only minus 150, and I do think that he's gonna have the advantages that I think he does, I'll end up being on that. I'll need to get on it quick so it doesn't get away from me.
Shout out to Brett C. He's saying Usman has terrible knees. Someone needs to target the. Oh no, wait, sorry. Hype MMA. This is the question I was trying to get to. Usman and Colby are going to age, and Luke gets better. Correct. It's when the age starts catching up with these guys where they're going to start to deteriorate. Right now, they are at their peak. Who knows when they're going to drop off? It's probably in the next 2 to 3 years. It's going to be difficult to maintain this level of competitiveness, especially from the Kamaru Usman side, given the knee problems that Mr. Z over there brought up as well.
Well, and shit, if they go 1-for-1 and they end up fighting a rubber match for the belt, like that'll take years off of your lifespan. So yeah, there's a chance they end up getting old.
Exactly. Pete G, I think he said, PG, I'm telling you, Lock, that Burns stands a good chance against Colby. I saw him comment earlier saying that I don't really believe in Burns. Depending on who he fights, I don't believe in him. Wonderboy Thompson was one of those guys that I thought was going to be able to pretty easily dismantle him with the striking. I was wrong on that. I'm okay with that. I really didn't expect Wonderboy Thompson's takedown defense to be that poor either. That's something I didn't really expect going into the fight, hence why I was so confident on Wonderboy Thompson. So you live and you learn, Mr. PG over there.
See, and I'm the head conductor on the Burns train over here.
I went hard on him when he fought Tyron Woodley. Like I knew I had that one in the bag, especially as an underdog in that fight. But he's not beating Colby. He's not beating Usman. That's not happening. In my opinion, that's not happening. Mbe is saying Usman is 34 and Colby is 33, so they're out of their prime soon.
Yeah, I think see, and I think Burns is
I love you,
guy,
Pete. I love you, Pete. I'm sorry. I'm just talking shit.
Burns is another guy that's kind of in the Luka category for me, where if he keeps getting better at the rate that he is, if he fills out at 170 the way that he is, like he could be a problem in a year or two. He's already a problem. He hurt Usman worse than anybody else had in that first round. Yeah. But again, the problem is the pace and the wrestling. He's a good wrestler. Yeah. He's not an Usman caliber wrestler. So like eventually Usman and Colby are going to take over a 15 or a 25-minute fight. He's got to get them out of there early, and those guys are durable as shit. So that's where I think Burns will find himself locked firmly at number 3.
My issue is also his inability to keep up with their cardio, because a lot of people are kind of, in my opinion, honey-dicked when he was having great cardio against Tyron Woodley. I could have great cardio against Tyron Woodley. You know what I mean, like it's just you're not going to get much of resistance from him. So sure, you're going to be able to gain your confidence and stay confident throughout that fight. But when you face resistance, like he did in the Kamaru Usman fight, that's when you start to gas out. That's my take on that right there.
Yep.
And they're saying Burns is old too. How old is Burns?
That's a good question. He might be like 36 or 37.
I believe it if he is.
So he doesn't have a ton of time left.
Because remember, he was just like a middling lightweight. And then he just fuck it, let's go up to welterweight.
Middling, like he was on a heater until he got knocked out by Hooker, and then he moved up. So he wasn't. He took
really it on short notice. If you remember that, he took that Konchenko fight on short notice, up a weight class, won that fight, and then started going on his welterweight heater.
Yep, I think he was just one of those ones realizing that the weight cut was taking its toll, and then he had one taste of 170 Success. And went, yeah, I'm just going to do this.
We're staying here.
It makes sense, though.
Yeah. DHJC saying Burns is 35.
Okay.
I will believe you for that. And again, he's up there in age too, so who knows how long they'll stick around. Also, I do want to never mind. Fuck it. I'm going to leave that one alone. You know what I'm talking about, Clint? Just leave. Sometimes you just got to leave stuff alone. That's it.
Sometimes.
You just got to leave stuff alone.
Lack, I got to tell you, there is a lesson, a very old parable that has stuck with me my entire life.
Hit me with it.
A very, very wise man once said that if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. You motherfuckers didn't watch up growing up. You didn't watch Bambi. Like, go back to your kindergarten stuff and be nice to people. Like,
yeah. No, I hear you, man. There's just, it is what it is. It comes with the game. It's my least favorite part about it. Like, I wish I didn't really need social media to a certain extent to do what we're doing. You know what I mean? But then we don't get to meet guys like each other or like other guys in the space. You know, all of our buddies over there.
It's such a it's such a peaks and valleys type of thing,
Yeah.
man. Because like this bromance, like this came out of nowhere, and this is awesome.
For
Like
sure.
I wouldn't trade this
For
for
sure.
anything. But yeah, then you get the guys on the internet that just woke up on the wrong side of the bed and want to be an asshole
Every day, Clint.
every day, and it's
Wrong
just
side.
like, man, like do you gotta? And here's the thing. I went through my toxic internet phase as well. All right. When I was, you know what? I'm going to age myself here. At the height of Left 4 Dead, man, when Left 4 Dead was the game that everybody couldn't stop playing. Like I was
love that
young.
game.
I was just in college. That game was the shit. And I trolled people relentlessly. I got to the point, like I legitimately thought it was funny if I made somebody rage quit the game. Not because I was beating them, but because I was getting on them so badly they
Just
wanted to
annoying
quit
them.
out. And then, you know, a year or so went by and I was like, dude, like I ruined that guy's night. Like whoever was on the other side of the screen logged in to have a fun, friendly game, and I ruined their night. And if you're 22 years old right now, if you're 18, if you're 16, you're probably still laughing at that concept. But like you get to the point that you're like, I don't want someone to ruin my night. Like it stops being fun.
Yeah, we got Petrovsky on the scale here. Then we'll get back to the conversation. Let's see. Looking okay. 185
and a half. Shit-eating wild man.
That dude is like all arms. That motherfucker. He is all arms. I forgot what I was going to add to what you were saying there. Oh yeah, somebody just commented something. Brett Z. A lot of people on the internet are children. Pay no mind. I truly believe that.
Well, and that was kind of my point, right? Like the days where I was doing that, I was much younger. I was much more immature. It was not. Again, you look back on it and you cringe. You're just like, why did I do that? Like it's just completely unnecessary. And most of the people, we know a couple of adults who are out there doing some bullshit, but
yeah,
you know, most of the people doing this are younger and they will eventually grow up and those burner accounts they operate will be deleted and they'll move on. But you know, when you're that age, you just want a reaction out of somebody. And
for sure.
The short end of the story, kids, for those of you who are doing what I'm talking about and have 5 burner accounts and are doing, it's way better to get a positive reaction than a negative one. Like if you piss somebody off for 5 seconds, the fact is you're going to be the one sitting at home thinking about it, not them. You think Lock and I stew over some bad comment on the internet? No, you've disappeared as soon as the camera turns off. We don't care. We don't remember you. We have no idea what your name was. So if you hang on to pissing someone off, you know, in a chat room or something for one day, like you go out and do an activity that earns you a trophy, because that's gonna hang around way more than the 5 seconds of joy you got from making somebody be mad or something. Like it just doesn't amount to shit.
Clint McHeel is alive and popping at 2 a.m. Eastern time right now, fellas.
Was that heel?
Let's go. No, you know
I felt like the sage old wise man stroking the beard here.
You got to let him know every now and then, Clint. You got to let him know. So it looks like we got two guys left to weigh in still. We got Chimaev, which is an interesting one, and then we got Volkov, I believe.
Yep.
I
Big
could
boy.
be off on that. Yeah, Volkov's the other one. Volkov doesn't strike me as the guy that like really needs to cut the weight, right? He's a big boy, don't get me wrong, but like
he's gonna
it
make
seems like it's a lot easier. Come on, don't say that. It seems like one of those things where it's like, you know, it's a lot easier to lose that weight when you're that much bigger, right? Compared to guys that are like fucking 135 trying to get down to 125 or something.
Yeah, 5 pounds of water weight, a whole lot easier when you're that big.
Yeah.
And Carl in the chat saying Clint 5 alts confirmed. That's the funniest shit, is that people have actually like come after me about that kind of shit. I don't have time to make alts. Like,
I don't get it.
You know the amount of content that I make. I got a family. Like you think I'm making alt accounts? I know Carl is kidding. I'm just there are people out there that actually have thought that. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like no way in hell do I have time for that bullshit.
Yeah. Skrilla MMA saying if Chimaev gets the first round finish, who does the UFC give him next? We got to keep in mind they were willing, right? They were willing to give him a headlining spot against a guy that that was due for a title shot in Leon Edwards. They lined it up with him 3 times, so the possibilities are endless. Who they can match him up with is what I'm trying to say.
I want to see him. I would love to see him crush Leon Edwards. After we saw what Nate did to him, I would love to see Khamzat wreck Leon Edwards.
let's see. Let's see what the top 10 of that division is right now and who we would line him up with, because more than likely he's going to get a top 10 guy, right? Let's be honest. Jeff
Some
Neal,
football talk going in the chat.
I'm sure he's not going to be around for a while. I wouldn't mind Neil Magny against fucking Hamzat. Just fucking do that already.
Yeah. I mean, Neil Magny's been a bit of a money train for me recently, so I'd prefer him to not get derailed, but that'd be a fun fight. I'd watch that one. I think it's a bad matchup for Magny though, because like
Hype MMA is saying put him against Luque.
hey,
Not a bad
that's
look.
a fight.
Not a bad look. Like Luque will like earn all of his respect if he beats Chimaev, and Chimaev on the flip side will get some pretty good respect if he's able to beat a guy like Luque. Again, they gave him Leon fucking Edwards, who deserved a title shot at that point.
See, what the thing is though, the UFC is trying to build the hype of Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah.
So someone like Vicente Luque, the diehards know Luque. The general public does not know Luque. So they want to give someone like Leon, who was in the spotlight for a moment, had the shine, had the run in with the 3-piece in the soda. Like people knew the name. That was to get the win. That was to get him in line for the title shot. Now that everything got bumped back a little bit, there's no way Edwards is agreeing to that fight right now. That's never going to happen. So like they got to give him somebody at least semi-recognizable. And I think that's why we got the Leech here, is because it's like, okay, like, he's not star-studded. He's not like a giant jump up. He's not top 5, but people know who he is. People know he's dangerous. They can run the highlight reel before Khamzat walks out and beats his ass. Like it's all strategy here by the UFC to get him to the point where he can be a title contender as quickly as possible. So somebody like Luque, somebody like Burns, unfortunately. I don't think they'd throw Diaz to him, but
No.
Masvidal, like if they did any of those guys, like that would be transferring one hype to the next real easy.
I don't know what you have to do with him after this. Let's see how he does getting past this test tomorrow night.
Ugh. Is it funny that I find the fighters like the Leech, like somebody like Gilbert Burns kind of falls into this category, I guess. I feel like those are the guys that really would be a threat to Khamzat. Like the grinders, like Leon, I think he just gets smashed because of the wrestling background of Chimaev. It's the guys that could fast twitch him. You know what I mean? It's the guys that could one-shot KO him because we've never seen his chin touched. Those are the guys I feel like are most dangerous for Chimaev. So
I think the only guys I would fade Chimaev with is Colby or Usman, like within the next 2 to 3 years.
Shit, I don't even know if I do that.
If he truly is what we think he is. So
if I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves. The reality
he hasn't even weighed in yet. Let's fucking let him weigh in.
He hasn't weighed in, but I mean, he hasn't even beaten a ranked opponent yet. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like as much as I love Chimaev, I am all aboard the Chimaev train.
Yeah.
Like he's got to beat somebody respectable before we really go for it. Now I know GM3
no disrespect
was
to GM3.
No disrespect.
Yeah.
No, and that win looks great in hindsight. Like now that he's gotten back on track and derailed another big name in the division we all thought was headed for the top, like that win looks excellent. But we have seen GM3 hurt with punches before. Like we've seen him clipped and put down before. He's also not a title contender. Like it was a good win, but we still need to see more before we're ready to say he's going to dethrone Usman or fight with Colby.
There was a question right here by Skrilla MMA saying, I've seen a lot of smart people betting Hebos. What are we missing? I feel like the only value is on Verna. For me, I truly think that it's a lot of it is deep rooted in the Mackenzie Dern fights for both of these people. Obviously, Hebos was able to outstrike her, stuff 6 takedowns, and just beat her up on the feet, compared to Verna, who, she just tried to strike with Dern, and she just, she's a decent striker, but you got to give Dern the slight advantage there in terms of she was actually working on technical striking at that point, whereas Verna's just crashing for her, really throwing big shots. And normally, though, this is the interesting part. Verna, way more apt to go out there and try to seek takedowns. Like more often than not, when you watch her fights, she's shooting at least 3 takedowns in her fights. But in that fight, I felt as though she didn't believe in her jiu-jitsu against Dern. That's kind of a concern that I had in that fight, because she got one takedown at the end of or near the ending of the second round, and she had some decent top time for about 30 seconds. But there was another instance in the fight where she could get the top position against Mackenzie Dern, but just let her sit up. Just let her get back to her feet. That's not how Verna fights. Verna chases the takedowns. Like, you watch the majority of her fights, she wants to try to grapple fuck you and try to find a submission. And I think she trusts her jiu-jitsu against Hibas more than she did against Dern in this spot, which is why I think she'll be able to close the distance. I don't think Hibas' striking is that great. Like, it looks good. I said this earlier. I think it's more show than it is, or yeah, more show than substance. Like, there's not much really behind it. Hopefully Verna is able to see that, kind of close the distance a little bit easier, get that body lock, get the takedown, and go to work from on top, whether that's grinding her out or finding a submission. I think Verna dominates her in the grappling realm. That's my take. And I think people seeing her that she didn't do that against Dern gives them pause. But again, that's my theory, is that she just didn't trust her jiu-jitsu against Dern. What's your kind of take on this fight? Because I know you're pretty strong on the Verna side and possibly betting her soon, right?
Yeah. I'm looking at betting her. I'm more than likely going to bet her. I'm hoping we can get as good of a line as possible. I'm being a little greedy here, looking for more than that plus 145.
Likewise.
I mean, at this point, the fights are going to be here pretty quick. We might only get plus 150. I might have to settle for the plus 145. But, man, I think you nailed it. Like, Amanda Ribas, she's got better technical striking, but she doesn't have any power. Like, she's not going to hurt anybody with those strikes. And I think once Verna figures that out, she's going to walk through it. Mackenzie Dern is the exact opposite. Like, her striking is coming along, but she's got that fast twitch muscle. She hits hard. Like, we've seen her hurt people with her hands before. So I think once Verna realizes that Ribas has nothing to offer with the power, she'll be able to just kind of walk her down. And then I agree with you. I think the strength is going to be the difference maker. I think she'll be able to grind on her. She'll take her down. She'll get her to the ground. And then there's always the chance that Ribas gets clipped the wrong way and crumbles, because we've seen it happen time and time again. Verna is nowhere near Marina Rodriguez. Let me make that clear. She is nowhere near Marina Rodriguez. But the power that she has, if she swings one of those haymakers and lands it, is more than enough to put Ribas down, because Ribas has been KO'd by Poliana Viana.
Yeah,
so
she doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Another jiu-jitsu based player that was just trying to, throw them hands to close the distance, try to get the takedown, but they got into a little bit of an exchange, and she didn't like it. She doesn't like getting hit, in my opinion.
Exactly. And then the other thing is, let's really look at who Ribas has fought. Mackenzie Dern. And this was back in 2019, which Wheezy, I see your comment in there.
Yep.
I'll put it up here just now. Completely different version of Mackenzie Dern than the one that Verna Jandiroba faced. Jandiroba fought a much cleaner, much harder, much more in shape version. And then she fought Randa Marcos, who just barely saved her job. And I mean, just barely. She almost got choked out in the first round. Like, she gave up a bad position, gave up her neck, almost got submitted. So even though she's still here with us,
glass half full from that Marcos fight. She lands the first takedown. She throws. Continue, Clint.
Yes, exactly. And then Paige Van Zandt, who has flared out at bare knuckle boxing, and her now main source of income is onlyfanzant.com. So, I mean, if that tells you anything about the wins that Ribas has had, she's really, really fraudulent with her record in the UFC. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. She's good. I love the raw talent. Like, there is something there. We've got a potential star in the making. She's fun. She's athletic. She's only 28 years old. She's going to get better. She's going to do good. She's going to be back. But this is the kind of spot where Verna's got woman strength. Like, we talk about man strength versus boy strength. Like, she's got that woman strength. She's 33 years old. She's in her prime. She can come out here and just overpower someone like Ribas. And I also think that Ribas will potentially accept bottom position. The only thing that kind of scares me a little bit is Verna jumps guard sometimes. And when Verna jumps guard, I feel like she actually lost the Dern fight because of jumping guard in that third round. Like, I know it's her going for the finish. I know it's her going for the win. But at the same time, I don't know. It's just a bad move in MMA. You can't be jumping guard in MMA unless you're desperate. Like, if that's your only chance to win the fight, just don't do it early, Verna. Just don't jump guard at like the beginning of the round or some shit. Like, if you really want to put a staple on it, you got a good grip on her wrist, jump guard it, with the 20 seconds left in the fight or something. But that's
it. Christian Rodriguez, he's like, who likes getting hit? You know some what we mean actually. When we're saying, yeah, exactly. Sean Strickland probably, but
Sean Strickland likes getting it.
You know what I mean by that. Like, when you're a fighter, you have to accept a certain amount of damage and the fact that you're going to get hit in the face. Then there's certain fighters that just don't like getting hit in the face. Malcolm Gordon used to be one of those fighters that don't like getting hit in the face.
Yep.
Amanda Ribas does not like getting hit in the face when it's by somebody that actually wants to throw with her and actually land with some sort of power. And I think Verna will use that to parlay into a takedown. The way to do that, make sure you're throwing some heat on those strikes to close the distance, drag this fight to the ground. So
you know, Jonathan in the chat talking about the sub prop for Verna, and honestly, guys, I don't think this fight ends in a sub. I think both these women are too good at jiu-jitsu. Like, I just don't see it happening. I think the defense is going to be solid on both sides of it, and I think Verna has a better shot of either grinding or ground and pound than she does actually getting a sub, because Ribas is going to do all the right things to stay out of that sub.
Yeah, I agree. I think if there is going to be a sub, it is the Jandiroba side, but I just don't see it here. I think the decision prop, if anything, but the fact that you're even getting her at plus money to begin with, don't get too greedy. Like, don't get too greedy.
That's the point right there. Don't get greedy, because she could win by sub. She broke that chick's arm in her last fight. So, like, you know, crazy shit happens in MMA, and I've learned not to get greedy on something when the line isn't offering you significant value. Like, it's just not worth it, man. Like, and I know this was a losing bet, and in fact, it was a bad bet. But at PFL, I bet Clarissa Shields by knockout, and it's like the inside the distance was minus 150 versus the knockout minus 130. It's like, I know she's probably not going to sub her, you know, but why bother? Like, you're not getting paid for the difference. You know what I mean? So just take the inside the distance. Don't get fancy. Same thing here. You're getting plus 145. That's plenty. You want to chase a plus 800 on inside the distance? What if she wet blankets her? Like, I know I've gotten caught doing that. What I like to do is throw a half unit on it. Like, if you're really confident in that finishing prop and you want to chase that value, go for it. Split the unit. Half on the money line, half on the prop that you're chasing, because that way you at least get something back if you end up missing.
I will say this. There are a couple people that I'm very, fond of in terms of their betting opinions and stuff. And they're on Ribas with quite some confidence. And I don't know if it's something that I'm missing. I don't know what it is. A lot of what I'm hearing in terms of the argument for Ribas is that she will be able to keep it on the feet and outstrike her. And I do have to agree in the sense that if Verna Jandiroba goes out there and tries to play the same game that she did against Dern, which is stay on the outside and just kind of let them do their thing from the outside, Ribas is going to be the better minute winner if she decides to do what she did in the Dern fight. But historically speaking, that is not how she fights. She goes forward, she goes for takedowns, she tries to smother you. So if she can do that here against Ribas, which I think she will do, because I do believe pretty much anybody can say that Jandiroba has the better jiu-jitsu here. Dern would agree with that. Even when Dern and Jandiroba went up against each other, they're like, we are the two best jiu-jitsu players in this division. It'll be interesting if we lock up on the ground, which they didn't really for the most part, right? A lot of it did take place on the feet. There were instances where Dern was on top at times, but I
Dern
don't think
so
Ribas
slick
is
off her back, though. I think that's the difference. Ribas is more dangerous from top position, where Dern subs everybody off of her back. Why would you bother getting involved in that if you think you can beat her in a different area of her game? I think styles make fights, man. Paper, rock, scissors. I absolutely think that Verna can ride out top position in this fight, and she wanted nothing to do with it her last fight.
I love it. Hopefully it comes through this weekend. We're still waiting on two more fighters. Fucking 43 minutes left. Bright and early here, 2:16 a.m. Eastern time.
And at this
it's
point,
only
I'm
fucking 11:16. Yeah, exactly. You might as well. Fuck. Again, I wonder what's taking them forever. Chimaev didn't seem like, anything was wrong with him during the presser or anything like that. Maybe he's really sweating it right now to try to make the weight. Remember, he's fought at 185 in the past. Like, he's done that fucking double duty thing before, but he will probably find most success at 170 pounds given his size. And speaking of size, I was kind of surprised that Chimaev wasn't much bigger than Lee. I was expecting to see a sizable difference there. There is a little bit, but it's not as big as I thought.
Speaking of size, I was surprised by the size of Lee's head. Did you see that thing? Freaking A, man.
That's hilarious.
There's a short list of UFC fighters that have heads like that. Volkanovski is another one that, as soon as they walk out, you're just like, shit, no wonder nobody knocks this guy out.
Topple over if they just fucking get punched in the head. Biggs Omega, shout out. He's saying how many misses? Only Ismagulov. He was the first guy to weigh in, missed weight by 7.5 pounds. So we are still waiting to hear whether that fight's going to be canceled or not. I gotta believe it's canceled, right? I think anything over 5 pounds or something.
So you got to think so, but again, buddy, we are in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it's
We
that
are
funny stuff, eh?
overseas. The
You think?
rules are a little bit looser over here,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that's
yeah.
gonna be a thing.
I know. They out here, Clint. They out here.
They out here. They out here. I see what you're doing there. And the best thing is, word has it that person doesn't chat or get in comments anymore. So it's it's a troll.
Yes, exactly. That's why I got it out of there. What are these guys saying in here? Josh Benedict saying Burgos versus Billy Q. My lean is Burgos here. I know he's been kind of getting stopped later in fights at this point, but I think that anybody technically better than Billy Q, and I mean with like striking or any sort of like being able to keep up with cardio as well, as which is something I think Burgos can do. I think he can at least fuck him up for the first 2 rounds, possibly even finish Billy Q early here. How are you feeling about this one pre-tape?
Man, that's a pretty bold take there. So pre-tape.
I like Billy Q, but I just think he's going to struggle with guys that are technically better than him. Like compared to the guys that just survive, he survives against and then eventually gets out of there later. Kyle Nelson, the only one that really comes off the top of my head right now. But when he fought Gavin Tucker, right, a guy that I thought skillfully was better than him and wasn't going to be really fucked up by his cardio. I feel the same thing with Burgos here. I think he'll be able to go a hard 15 if he needs to without getting finished, but do enough in the first 2 rounds to win them or at least finish Billy Q.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing, though. I don't know. Like, Burgos just keeps such a high pace. He's another one of these guys that is just death by 1,000 paper cuts. So I could see these guys just trading for 15 minutes. I don't know if he's going to get him out of there, but I do feel like this is finally like a winnable fight for Burgos because he's had a bit of a rough run the last couple. Man,
right?
That whole body, like physically willing his body not to shut off thing in his last fight, that was something else.
That was crazy. Wow. I didn't even realize Burgos is actually minus 200. I haven't even looked at the lines, honestly.
I haven't either.
Not bad.
I just glanced at it.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
You looking at the lines right now?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that really sticks out to
you? Let's see here. We're watching the weigh-ins for 267, and we're talking bets for 268.
Hey, I feel like we beat it to death with 267 already.
They rematched Hawes and Curtis, huh?
Yeah. Minus 290, Phil Hawes.
An opportunity to fade Alexa Kamer. I got to look into John Allen again, but
he on the sauce. He did pretty well against Mike Rodriguez, but again, he was on the sauce.
Don't lay chalk on Alexa Kamer. That's just that's the end of the lesson there. Don't lay chalk on Alexa Kamer.
Imavov versus Edmund Shabazian has me intrigued.
I am very tempted by Edmund, man, if I'm being honest.
Interesting. I am very tempted on the Imavov side. Again, it was only one good performance out of Imavov, so I should probably pump my brakes. Yep. But if he continues in that trajectory, we're not going to be able to get him around minus 140 anymore because good takedown defense, good cardio, and that type of striking, he could be a problem.
Yeah, that's potentially true. I also think that there's something...
Shout out Narco Cop in the chat. What's going on? All right, sorry, continue.
Got the Lambo. Man, I think there's something to be said, though, with the raw talent of Edmund Shabazian. Like, he's just not done yet. He's such a kid. Like, he's going to keep getting better. And we talked about it his last fight, that they're like, he needs a step down. He needs a tune-up fight. Like,
this ain't it.
See, I feel like this is it. Like, this is much more the level of person he needs to be fighting. They were throwing him up for the title just a fight or two back. Like, we need him to get this type of mid-tier fight before he jumps into the contender circle. This is the perfect spot, I think, for him to take a slight step up, but still a fight that he can manage to win.
It is a winnable fight for him, but my main concern is his cardio, right? We've kind of seen it kind of be the bane of his existence whenever, guy, like even in the Darren Stewart fight, the fight that he won, that's the reason I picked Derek Brunson, because he like death gassed in that fight, but was good enough in terms of with his grappling and his wrestling advantage over Darren Stewart that his wrestling bailed him out. Not going to bail him out against a guy like Derek Brunson, which is why I took that Derek Brunson shot.
Especially not blonde Brunson.
Worked out. Toby Kinsella saying Ian Gary is the closest thing to a lock not named Manpreet. I know he's fighting Jordan Williams, who Jordan Williams sucks ass. I'm sorry. I'm trying to say that with as much respect on it as possible. But yeah, Ian Gary obviously minus 340 makes sense. I got to look into the guy. I've heard nothing but good things about him, but I couldn't tell you what kind of fighter he was. Like striker, grappler. I don't know what he does.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. I gotta research that one.
The truth, pal. You ain't gonna get me with that one. You ain't gonna get me with that one. So if you want to keep doing that, there's a door that I can lead you to. Gumby 2121 is saying Cheeto is a lock. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think Frankie still has enough to compete with a guy like Cheeto as long as his chin can stay healthy or
that is
durable.
A complete stay away from me because I think that Cheeto is a guy that hasn't fought very many great wrestlers. So somebody like Frankie could absolutely expose him and just put him on his back for 15 minutes, big brother him. But at the same time, Frankie is old. That chin is getting a little dusty. And all it's going to take is one shot from a guy that's big for the division like Cheeto. So I can see such clear paths to victory for both guys that I'm like, I just don't need to put my money on that because you could look stupid real quick on either side of that fight. It's going to go one of two ways.
You're banking on Frankie's chin to deteriorate and just completely be gone if you think Marlon Vera is going to win that fight. So, in my opinion, the way you bet that fight is Vera by finish. That's the best value you're going to get if you're getting on the Vera side, because I feel as though Frankie Edgar will be the better minute winner if he's able to stay alive, right? Yep. One of those North scorecard type of bets on Marlon Vera wouldn't be a bad idea. But I think, again, like the Pedro Munoz fight, right? Everybody expected Munoz to fucking knock him the hell out, and he stayed alive for 25 minutes. And Pedro Munoz hits hard, probably harder than Cheeto Vera.
See, I think the difference there, though, is that Pedro Munoz is willing to engage Frankie. Frankie was actually able to play a bit more than Matador in that spot. He doesn't get to do that with Marlon Vera. Yeah, Marlon Vera knows you got to take me down. You got to come to me. So he can time Frankie coming in. And that's the concern, is that Frankie's speed, he's still there. He can duck and move. He can avoid. But if he's got to literally get his arms around the guy's hips and they both know that full damn well, I don't know if he's going to be able to avoid all the shots he's going to need to. And then we got to wonder if he's even strong enough to get Cheeto down, because Cheeto's massive, dude. Like, God forbid, if he's gotten just enough takedown defense together to force Frankie to stand with him, it could be a short night.
Yeah, I want to run the tape on that. And again, it seems like there's a lot of juicy spots on this card, so it's not like I got to pinpoint specifically going after Frankie Edgar there. Skrilla saying Pereira by KO. That seems to be the spot, right? Seems to be a tee up for a Pereira to get like a highlight within the UFC that they can continuously run over and over again leading up to his next fight, right? Don't you get that feeling there with Pereira and Michailidis?
Oh, I know the name Michailidis, but I can't remember anything about his style off the top of my head.
He's kind of a brute striker, right? He had that fight against Bukowskis, and then he beat KB Buller by just stopping.
Oh, is he the guy that got elbowed to hell by Bukowskis?
Yeah, and then like flopped over at the end of the first round.
Yeah, that does seem like a tee up then.
And then he beat KB Buller in his next fight.
Yes.
My fellow
I'll need to run that. I'll need to run that KB Buller fight back and see what he looked like, but that does seem like a bit of a layup. Now, okay, here's a question for you. Money coming in on Gaethje as a minus 190 favorite. I'm sorry. I picked Gaethje to win this fight, but why is he minus 190
here? It's getting a little crazy. I don't think people believe in the Michael Chandler chin, maybe.
See, and that's I bet Chandler against Charlie O. Chandler and Gaethje are extremely similar. I like Gaethje better personally, and I do pick him to win this fight. I was hoping it would come out near evens so that I could take Justin Gaethje. And the fact that it's minus 160 to minus 190, again, this is where we play numbers, not people. You know what I mean? Like, can Michael Chandler knock Justin Gaethje out? I'm pretty sure he can.
Yeah. I think the way to go about that fight would be Chandler KO. Because I feel like Gaethje will probably be the one kind of moving forward the entire time. If he's able to stop takedowns, that could possibly work in his favor too. Tough fight, man. But I do agree with you. The line is a little bit wide there.
Narco Gaethje might be a better striker. He might be a better technical striker, especially, hanging out with Whitman and stuff like that. But he blocks punches with his face, and that's more my concern.
Yeah. Josh Benedict saying Chandler gasses. I'm assuming the over-under here is going to be 1.5.
Oh, it's got to be 1.5.
Yeah, if it's 2.5, maybe if fight doesn't go to decision, would be a spot to just throw into a parlay or something like that. But then again, there's been some fight doesn't go to decisions over the last couple of events that were supposed to hit. And
yeah,
we got fucking Bruno Capoloza and Antti D'Elia going 5 fucking rounds.
Right, and then Mbaye in the chat, Chandler can take Gaethje down too, and that's kind of the thing is I think the wrestling is comparable. Like I think Chandler, if he chooses to, I know he doesn't always choose to, but if he wants to grapple, he can, and that makes the fight much more interesting. And over 1.5 may get there.
Yeah. And Blake Hager is spitting some truth here, saying if you keep saying leave round 1 again, you might get banned. You're not going to get banned, but it doesn't help if you keep saying the same thing over and over again. If I didn't highlight before, more than likely I won't highlight it now. I love you, Christian. Let's move on. All right, Narco Cop saying gas tank. Yeah, that's another possible concern there. My guy here, Demidorma, Movsar Evloev versus Ilia Topuria, man. Like, I hate when they fucking match up two legit prospects. And they've done it twice to me now with Evloev. Last one being Hakeem Dawodu. Our last fucking hope in Canadian MMA currently. And of course, they put him up against fucking Movsar Evloev. But now against Ilia Topuria, that's a fucking great fight that I just don't know how I would go about, because I feel as though I'm very high on both of them, but I give Ilia Topuria the slight edge. I'm a little bit more intrigued and impressed by him and think he has a little bit more potential, given that he's such a high-level jiu-jitsu player and his striking is coming together. If his cardio is legit, this kid is going to be legit as well. That's the main concern here. Can he go the hard 15 minutes with a guy like Evloev, who is a far cry from Yusuf Zalal? Let's not even bring that fight into the consideration here. Close fight. I won't be betting it. I'm going to sit back. Early lean is Topuria, though, not by a lot. Any early thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I got to lean with the Georgian just because, that's, I mean, how do you not?
I don't blame you, right? I don't blame you.
It's hard.
I'm not betting the fight, man. I want both guys to win. I want both guys to win.
Locke, you're talking about them linking up a couple of prospects that you're a fan of, and that's always painful. But you know what's worse? Right. It's worse when they link up a couple of simp bets. Man, they put Jillian Robertson versus Priscilla Cachoeira on me. Like, come on now. What are you doing to me,
chasing
UFC?
That? You getting in on that?
Well, on which one? No, man.
Jesus.
The whole joke thing on me and Jillian, like, I actually really liked her skill set. It's become painfully obvious that I think she's not strong enough to overcome some of the higher end people in that weight class. Unfortunately, I think she's going to kind of float in the middle there.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that Priscilla Cachoeira is looking like Mrs. God of War. Like, she's out there training with Figueiredo. She's patching up the holes in her game, and she has real power at that weight class. Man, it's going to break my heart a little bit, but I'm betting Priscilla, and I'm going to bet her by knockout on that fight.
Yeah, I can't touch Priscilla, nor can I touch Robertson in that type of fight either. I absolutely agree with you, though. Priscilla's probably the side there. There's no betting odds out on that yet, are there?
I don't see anything.
Yeah,
I was trying to find them. I don't see anything. Yeah, no odds. But I mean, honestly, I would expect it probably to be a little bit around of a pick 'em. The bookmakers tend to respect Jillian and her skill set, and I don't. Now, everybody watching this thing, you're on the Locky Late Night. Like, you're the real ones right here. Keep it to yourselves. Let's keep this one under the hat a little bit. People haven't caught up on Priscilla Cachoeira yet. They don't realize that she's not the can that she was when she got to the UFC. Like, people shout out Dan Levy from Half the Battle. They called her Priscilla Catch a Beating when she took her, first couple of L's in the UFC. But she's turned into something, man. And that power is a real thing. When she gets that counter wrestling going, she gets that jiu-jitsu going, like, she's going to be able to stop takedowns. She's going to be able to force people to stand with her. She's like female Chuck Liddell, man. She's going to hurt some chicks on the feet.
I will say this. She is literally only beaten the bottom of the barrel of the UFC so far. And I know that she was a big underdog in that Gina Mazzani fight. I understand that.
Oh, that was easy. That
But
was
still,
so easy. I saw The Matrix that night.
Yeah. But like Jillian Robertson is like the next step up of girls that are going to be of that level that I think Priscilla Cachoeira will be able to beat. But once she starts facing legitimate competition, I think it's going to get hairy for her once again.
She's going to have to keep improving. If she keeps going the way she is now, I'm not counting anything out. I'm not saying she's going to be a title contender. I'm just saying I think that I have caught up on Priscilla Cachoeira and where she is at before the bookies will. That's just my personal opinion. We'll see whether or not I'm wrong. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where the odds drop for sure. I think one of the fight nights just recently dropped
give me a pick 'em.
Odds as well. Let's see if we can get some quick early thoughts on these early lines here. So they dropped odds for the Vieira and Tate card, which is November 20th. Do you want to just quickly take a peek at that and see if there anything like catches your eye? Just off.
What the hell? Why not?
Vieira minus, yeah, exactly. Again, if you're with us on 2:30 a.m. on a fucking Thursday night, more than likely you're down to hear about Vieira versus Tate.
You're either really interested or we're about to lull you to sleep.
Exactly. So Vieira opened up minus 160 and she's been bet down to minus 130 against Miesha Tate. So that Tate love coming in. We get the rematch of Kang and Yaya, which is pretty much a pick 'em right now. Well, not rematch, sorry, the rebooking of that fight.
Yeah.
Taila Santos minus 250 against Joanne Calderwood. Seems like she could be worth the chalk there, to be honest. I think Joanne Calderwood's just been overrated for way too long of a period now. Taila Santos really coming into her own as well.
I love JoJo. Don't tell me that.
I love JoJo, but when we're talking about money, Clint,
I know.
I don't give a fuck.
No, I know. I'm right there with you.
I'd bet against my mother. Let's be honest. If she's going up against Francis Ngannou, I'm betting against her. I'm sorry. Azamat Mirzakhanov going up against Marcin Prachnio. Chalk there, obviously, at minus 260. Seems like a decent enough spot. Another guy coming over from a respectable regional scene, even though he's in a Dana White Contender Series guy. Prachnio, knockout or bust in that position, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I mean, let's see if his newly implanted chin holds up for another fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, right? Fuck.
Where the fuck did he get that thing, man?
Dude, Sean Brady, minus 145 against Michael Chiesa. Very interesting.
That is very interesting. Sean Brady. See, Michael Chiesa, this is what happens. There's certain fighters locked that zig when you zag, and that's Michael Chiesa.
Yeah.
I bet against him every single time he pulls the upset. I finally go, okay, you know what? This guy's for real, and he shits the bed. Like, that's Michael Chiesa for me. So I'm going to go ahead and say Michael Chiesa wins, and I'm sorry for Michael Chiesa bettors, but I just doomed you to losing tickets. So, I don't know what you want to do with that one. I can't figure that guy out.
The only couple of the ones that stand out to me, again, they're chalk, but it seems like spots that should be quite, easy. Dennis Bondera against Malcolm Gordon. I remember taping Bondera earlier this year. He's minus 260 in that spot. Layoff a little bit of a concern, but seems like the guy that could go out there and dismantle a guy like Malcolm Gordon.
Adrian Yanez, any punching power, man. If he's got any punching power at all, he wins.
Yeah, Adrian Yanez minus 240 against Davy Grant. Early thoughts on that?
Ooh, see, Davy Grant's my boy. I've rode Davy Grant to the bank a couple times, man. I love him, and I especially love him in the underdog role. But the fact is,
we got some action on the way.
Oh, here we go. We got movement.
We'll get back to this conversation. But what do we have? Volkov?
I mean, you got to. Well, actually, I was going to say you got to think Volkov, but I guess you never really know.
23 minutes left. This is crazy that we're actually waiting for Volkov and Shmaev. The least guys that I expected to be this late. Sorry, these guys are talking. They're throwing me off anytime I'm trying to talk.
I'm like, I just turned the volume on so I could hear the weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Boob in the chat is absolutely right. It is 5 hours past my bedtime for sure. You guys get nothing but dedication here.
Exactly. Big Bird asking about RC against Yadong. I'll answer that after we see who's weighing in here.
Now, somebody you said I was ahead of you, Lock, but the chat's already reading out Volkov's weight here. They're already giving us his number, so I don't know how they're that far ahead of us.
Oh, sorry,
wait a
Volkan
second.
Oezdemir.
Oh, Volkan. Shit, I'm
I
tired. We're saying the wrong
apologize,
name.
guys. I apologize, guys.
Both of us
I
are
didn't even
sitting
notice.
here with the wrong. Damn it!
I didn't even notice Volkov even weighed in. I missed
How did we
Volkov.
miss that?
How did we miss Volkov?
I'm gonna have to go find that video.
Did you you're writing notes right now, right?
Yeah, I'm writing.
Do you have
notes,
anything written down about Volkov?
I have nothing written down on Volkov, so let me go look and see if I can find it on Twitter or something, because I don't. We must have been talking or something, because
yeah,
I remember seeing Tybura.
I'm gonna you keep on the live stream. I'm gonna scrub through the video here and see if I can find him. Then I'll tell you what timestamp it's at.
Okay. How embarrassing.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Top-notch reporting here for all you folks.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we got Petrisky.
They seem to have cleared out. Maybe they were just running like a repeat or something. I don't know what that was all about. They didn't actually have anybody weigh in.
Let's see. Come on.
Weird. All right, I'm gonna mute the stream we're listening to again because it's distracting.
Yeah, I'm just scrubbing through. I don't see Volkov. Okay, so what the fuck? This is tripping me out.
How does this even happen?
Right? I'm looking at their board that they have all the weights on. And there's one instance where they don't have his weight, and then there's another instance where they do, but I'm looking in between those moments and I don't see him coming on the scale.
Did the stream cut out? Maybe we just got dropped.
If somebody is on the MMA fighting stream and knows the time slot roughly that Volkov weighed in at, please do let us know. I have no idea how we missed that.
I have no clue. We're both sitting here watching it and somehow missed it. Oh, and now the stream is buffering for me, so I don't know if the feed's getting dropped here.
And so it looks like there's a moment where they lowered the camera. Yeah, they lowered the camera. It's around the where is it? Here, it's roughly around 44 minutes behind us, Clint, if you want to go back. But it changes to something. That's when Volkov weighs in.
Okay, so when the guy is got the camera on himself?
Yes.
Seriously?
Where it says time left to weigh in 105.06, they switched the camera to something else. It looks completely, I don't know what it is. It's of nobody, but it's not of the scale. But you can hear in the background Annick saying 263. Okay, that was weird as fuck. So that was a fuck up on MMA
flipped the camera around. He's facing himself for some reason. Oh, how lame! I wanted to see Volkov on the scale.
Exactly. Hopefully somebody's able to get a picture or something like that. What a fail! You guys have one job. One job.
We're on a stream criticizing another stream.
Yeah, exactly. Criticize us, folks. Criticize us for criticizing
MMA fighting. I love you. Just to get that out of the way.
Yeah, we got 19 minutes left. Chimaev still to go, and Volkan Oezdemir still to go.
Now, our guy Narco earlier, I saw it fly by and we never got to it.
Yeah, go for it.
He said to give us our Lambo plays for this fight.
Well, I think I already said a couple of them earlier. Plus 2,600 on Kalaev sub. Round 3, Ricardo Hamos plus 2,000. I think those are the main ones.
Okay.
What classifies as a Lambo parlay? I think, or Lambo play. I think it's plus 700, right?
Anything plus 300 or better.
Oh, and plus 300. Okay.
The show that he does with the Lambo plays, you go through every single fight on the card and try to find a plus 300 line or better. So, we won't do the whole card or anything like that, but
appreciate you, Abel Palanso. We are great. We know that. Thank you. Brian Anthony saying you're doing your job. I don't know if I'd consider this a job, but yeah, we are doing what we're doing right now. Yeah, those are the ones I like. Plus 2,600 Ang sub and plus 2,000 Ricardo Hamos round 3, plus 700 to Hugov round 1.
I do like that, man. I love fading Ricardo Ramos' chin. I think Tuhugov is live for a knockout in that spot. I think Oleksiejczuk plus 500 is live for a knockout if Shamil slows down. You know what, though? I'll be honest. Seeing the kind of shape that Shamil came in, that changes my opinion somewhat because he has definitely been a slower-paced, more lumbering, heavy type of fighter. And coming in lean the way he did, we haven't seen him for a while. I got to wonder if maybe he's taken this fight a little more seriously than he used to. Lerone Murphy, round 3, 10-1. Lerone Murphy by sub, 14-1. Maybe
right there.
Maybe a little sprinkle. And again, the sprinklest of sprinkles on that Lerone Murphy by sub because he's another one of these guys that likes to work with his hands more often. And then, man, Hugh, round 3, I think is...
Duraev KO plus 500-ish. He could go for the ground and pound as well, which isn't out of the question.
He could. Yeah. I don't know. We've seen Habilov give his back up, though. We've seen the poor sub defense before. You know what I mean? That's another one where I definitely think the sub is favorable compared to the ground and pound.
Hamos sub plus 550. Again, I think if he does win in the third round, it's going to be due to Hugov's poor cardio. Gives up his back.
It's true.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoy some of those Lambo plays. Shout out to our guy Narco Cop. I can't wait to do that show. I'm looking forward to doing that kind of concept. Yeah, that's what I like.
It's an interesting exercise because people like us, we're always hunting value. We look at all that kind of stuff, and you do your prop show with Cody, and like I'm always round 3 sprinkling and shit. So like we look at that kind of stuff regularly, but it's hard to give one for every single fight because there are some fights where you're like, fuck, like there just isn't one on this fight.
Well, that's why, like, again, you have the, not excuse, but you have the built-in reason of like, hey, guys, like, it's the Lambo show, Lambo parlay. Let's fucking go.
Big Bird, thank you. I was looking at this the other day, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Zaleski sub. Like, dude's a black belt. It's like 9-1 in most places, 10-1, 12-1. Like you can find it all over the place.
He sells out for his submissions. Really gives up position at times. Does. So,
and he's fighting an opponent who's going to chase the ground game. Like he's literally going to put him there. So I'm like, wow, like that's one of those ones that just kind of, in hindsight, if it happens, everyone's going to feel stupid. Like, why did we not consider? Because I've never heard, nobody has talked about Zaleski by sub. Not that I've heard at least this week, and I only listened to like 2 or 3 shows, but still,
it's crazy to me that we're getting down to the last 15 minutes here, Clint.
Yeah, right. Like Chimaev, 15 minutes left. Never would have guessed. Now I feel like Volkan Oezdemir has he's had a couple of issues before, so I guess I'm not too surprised by him, but definitely surprised by Khamzat.
Hopefully it plays out. And shout out to, again, the 124 live viewers that we currently have. 92 likes. Really appreciate that. 4 dislikes, but it comes with the punches, right? We got to roll with them, so it's fine. It's fine.
It's only one person and their 3 burners.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I do want to quickly plug the Ultimate Weigh-In show tomorrow. I got my guy Olivier Aubin-Mercier joining me for the show. Very much looking forward to that. He was on our guy Magic and Andrew show that they did earlier in the week for PFL, but I got him for the UFC show because we all know that he loves Russians. He is fun. He is fun. Yeah. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Tomorrow 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys tune in for that shit. So we can talk about all the happenings of what we're watching right now, and then give our final plays as well.
The Andrew and Magic show with OAM is actually, here I am, something I never thought ever in the world, me saying something nice about Magic MMA. It was a good show. That was a good show. And that's it. For those of you in the know, I've told you all before that I've only ever had one internet beef, and that was plenty enough for me, and I swore never to do it again. Magic was the guy, so he still got me
interesting.
blocked.
I didn't know that, actually.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I don't know why I didn't know that.
I thought that was pretty well known at this point.
Interesting.
When I first got going with the podcast, and I was full of piss and vinegar, and I didn't have quite the Zen Clint attitude that I did these days. I wanted to be the best handicapper in the space. I wanted to run Bet MMA tips and all that stuff before I realized I'm more of an entertainer than I am potentially like a tout type better or anything. Magic was a guy that I actually really looked up to. I really respected him. I felt like we looked for similar things and bet the same way. And then one day he came after me because we disagreed on a bet, and he was just a complete asshole, like out of nowhere. And so, of course, you know, I swung back. It was one of those things where, like, well, if you're going to be a dick to me, I'll be a dick to you then. And I won my bet, and then he blocked me for, like, you know, being excited about my bet winning, and him like not looking great after getting on me about it. And that was the end of it. You know what I mean? He blocked me. And it was just one of those things that I'm like, it didn't have to go that way, man. Like, I actually liked the guy. Like, I always respected him and liked him. So I don't know why he came after me in the first place, but, you know, knew me, would have just kind of brushed it off and not made a big deal about it. So that, you know, that half was my fault, like, of getting worked up and swinging back at him. I didn't need to do that.
Yeah. Again, very polarizing character, of course. We do have Damir coming to this guy right now.
Yep,
looks very deflated. Looks like he's going to miss.
He's going to miss. He's got that get me out of here look on his face.
Wow, 205.5. He made it.
Wow.
He made it. Wow. It didn't look like he had much confidence at all.
No.
With 11 minutes on the clock. Interesting. All right, one more. We got Chimaev. If he comes in, hopefully it's soon. It would be so shitty if he misses weight. It would be so shitty, Clint.
Oh, that would suck.
Like, again, all week I've kind of been talking about, like, Yan and Sandhagen is the match that I have my eye on, but the fighter I have my eye on is Mr. Khamzat Chimaev.
Man, that's I was just going to say, he's kind of the main event. Like, I know he's not, but he's kind of the main show here. Everyone's waiting to see whether or not he's going to show up and keep the hype train rolling or not. There's the COVID issue. We got to wonder what he looks like with his cardio and shit. Like, that's a big, big question to me. And if he misses weight, like, that's going to be a big deal, man.
I can't believe that we're actually at this point. I guess it was worth the wait to stay up and fucking watch this thing.
I feel like at this stage it is. You know, man, and honestly, I credit part of that to you being just a fun person to chill with. Because
it's easy, dude. It's so fucking easy. I can't believe it's been an hour and 56 minutes.
That's what
already,
I'm saying.
Right?
When I do this shit solo, like, it grinds, man. But you and me hanging out and chatting, and the chat being on fire tonight, like, it's been fun. This has been a good show.
One issue that I've always had with the chat is trying to keep up with it when I'm doing a solo stream, and I just get put back so far behind that there's a bunch of times where I'll just, like, go right to the newest comment and skip everything that people are saying. I hate that. But with this, like, I don't feel I like going to the chat. I think next time, maybe if we do something like this, I will let you lead in terms of fiddling with the chat because you're so much better at it than I am. But I will try to keep a track on it as much as possible because it is great to have these guys involved. And obviously they're saying some good things in the chat as well that we want to acknowledge. But again, this is a special edition, especially considering we have the weigh-ins that we're watching as well.
And that's, man, on my shows, on like the Monday podcast that I do, that's why I actually really like the format I switched to having guests, because while my guests are talking, you know, we don't have the time to interact directly with every single person in this chat. Like, we just wouldn't be able to keep up. But at least when people make valid, good comments about the subject matter, like, I highlight those comments while my guest is speaking. It's not meant to be a distraction, but it gives the dedicated followers and the people that are also trying to bet MMA or just fans of MMA, like, at least it gets them involved in that way. So I kind of keep up with it a little bit quicker. But it is hard because, like, if one person says something that we want to talk about, we talk for 5 minutes, and that's 5 minutes worth of comments that rolled by that we can't touch.
Exactly. Bingo. Exactly. I hope the guys in the chat are hearing that right now too, because trust me, we want to get to as many of you as possible, but it's really difficult, especially when you guys are having conversations amongst yourself, which we encourage. Make friends in the comments. If anybody watches, congratulations, Chris D'Elia. I know he was canceled. Still love his podcast. Fuck you guys. But one of his main things is make friends in the comments. Enjoy each other's company. That's what we're all here for. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
PG said, I swear PG said he was already leaving. He's like, I need to go to bed. Come on. I swear before he said good night, fellas.
He's grinding like the rest of us, man. At a certain point, you're like, I can't leave this shit. I gotta stay. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
These bastards. These fucking bastards. Brett Z knows what's up. Oops. I love it.
Comes that out,
Okay.
Clinton? I ain't
Yeah,
making weight.
Boxing
Fuck
Club
that shit.
Dave Singh comes it out. Goddamn.
Have you seen me with my shirt off? I ain't making weight.
That's hilarious.
I got that dad bod hard right now.
Eric Code saying 3 a.m. Absolutely. At least Clint's on the fucking West Coast.
Yeah. I mean,
oh, yes. Big Bird PH. Sorry. Lock, I got to know. RC versus Yadong 135 for Scary Sight. Very difficult fight for me to fucking break down there, man. I did fade Song last time around. I believe it was with Casey Kenny.
Me too.
I believe it was last fight, right? And Yadong looked good, man. Yadong looked really good. So we got 160 Yadong plus 130 Julio Arce. And lean Yadong, man. Like just his firepower to continuously go forward and throw heat. I think it's going to be difficult for a guy who's more finesse driven and technical in a Julio Arce. I think he's going to struggle with being pushed back as much as he is going to be pushed back in this fight. You have any quick thoughts on that fight there?
No. That's one that I'm like you, man. I bet against him last time, and I made one of the dumbest statements I've ever made. As somebody that covers MMA, watches MMA, bets on MMA, I said I felt like Song Yadong had peaked. And I was like,
I was
in
one of those guys
hindsight, I was like, what was I thinking? Like, how he's a young kid, he's at a good gym, he came out and shut me right the hell up. So I'm like, no, I've still got whiplash from Song Yadong, man. I
don't. Narco God, appreciate the dono there. Thank you for the Lambo plays. Yes, sir. Can't wait to do that show. There is one, actually, who is it that just said? Luke Fulton. Is Toronto East Coast Lock? Yes, I am from the Toronto location. I believe you're saying you're from New Brunswick. But yeah, you guys are on like maritime time. We got that real like East Coast time over here. Clint, I did want to ask your opinion on one fight because I feel like I have an interesting lean here. Oh, we do not have odds for these. Wasn't Dominic Cruz supposed to fight Pedro Munoz?
I heard that was being made. Now, I don't know if it ever was official, but I thought that was the fight they were targeting. Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
And that's so weird.
What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that fight with no odds, nothing?
Dominic Cruz is another guy.
Pedro Munoz, UFC 269. Continue.
Dominic Cruz is another one of these guys that I just can't quite pin down right now. Like, I thought he was shot 3 fights ago, and he keeps coming in and looking okay. And him beating Casey Kenny was something, man, I thought that fight was a gift. Like, I thought getting pick'ems with Casey Kenny was just going to be easy money. But Dom is still doing the damn thing, man. I think Pedro Munoz is perennially underrated. I think his speed and his power is a big deal, and people continue to think that he's old, and he's not quite as old as people think he is, and he still is working well with the fighting thing. We keep hearing about Dom's knees and his feet giving out on him and shit like that, but then he comes out and has amazing performances. Like, I fully expect that line to be set at a pick 'em and me not to have any idea what to do with it.
All right, I think we got some action here on the way.
I see movement.
In
the MMA fighting chat, somebody said Hamzat Borachinya Chimaev.
Oh no!
Him coming in at like 2.
Hamzat double chin Amaev? No, maybe double chin Chimaev.
You'd have to drop the chin. It would just be like Hamzat double Chimaev.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, here he is. Oh,
he doesn't look great.
I hear the guys on the MMA fighting stream, high drama.
Just, like the body language, the look on his face. You know what I mean? He doesn't.
It looks dejected. He looks slightly dejected.
I mean, he's shredded up though. That's for sure.
You think he's asking for the box?
Yeah, I think he was asking for it. He knows
there's
he's not
the towel.
gonna make it.
Oh yeah, of course they don't have the box in fucking Abu Dhabi.
I still want to sponsor the box of shame, but I want to get the Die Hard logo on it.
Make the weight,
he's got his
baby.
hands on it. They're not making him lift his hands.
Yeah. Oh.
They're not making him lift his hands. He's pulling a DC right now. Yep. No one's even warning him, and he looks bad.
171.5.
Did they call 171.5?
Yeah. Half pound
That's
over.
Bullshit. He missed weight.
Yeah. Oh, that is a missed weight though.
You're right, because it's got to be 171.
He looks like a skeleton.
He looks worn, man. Oh, that's not good. That is not good.
He has an hour to make weight. He should make that half pound. If he doesn't, that just is a further testament as to how tough that that weight cut could be. But yeah, he's probably more than a half pound over with
He's
that towel,
absolutely,
thing, right?
dude. He had his
Again,
hands like
it's
full resting
probably
on the towel.
it's probably another half pound, maybe a pound at most. Like I feel as though if they felt him really tugging on the towel, they would say something. It was
Dude,
probably just enough. It's probably just enough.
if I were him, I'd hydrate the fuck up. Take that 10% off your purse, man, because he's got to be 2.5 pounds over right now. He's got to be 3 pounds over right now. You know what I mean? That hand trick is no joke. So if he's using the hand trick, they're not going to let him do that on the reweigh. He might as well just take that half pound over and say, I can't get there.
Man, this is nuts. Like
the one guy you don't want to see it happen to.
The interesting thing is, I don't think it's going to affect the way the fight really goes down tomorrow, right? Like it could just, if he goes out there, still gets the takedown, he's still going to smash him, right? Like a lot of it is predicated on him getting it done early. But if he doesn't, that's where things get tricky. That's where my plus 3,600 round 3 Li Jingliang looks pretty nice.
Dude, I don't hate it. I mean, so here's the thing. A lot of people have Hamzat in parlays and shit like that. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either.
Hamzat. I got him by knockout at plus 150. I think that's his most likely path to victory. And I do have my 100% Khamzat Chimaev betting rate on the line here. If you didn't know, Lock, I am 3 for 3 on exact outcomes of Khamzat fights.
There you go.
I'm going to keep trying to pick exact outcomes until I'm wrong. So I think he knocks him out. And I do also think that he probably swells back up after he gets to rehydrate, and he's okay. He's the type of guy that'll be tough and gritty and do that. But the big questions about his gas tank. Now, I'm the weigh-in guy. I'm the tinfoil cap guy, you know. Yeah. I don't think that this will have any effect on that because we've never seen him out of round 1 anyway. So we won't have any clue if it's a bad weight cut or if maybe he just doesn't have a great gas tank to begin with. Maybe he is chinny. Like those are all the questions that we already have. And I don't think the weight cut matters much in this case. Yeah, missing weight is never great, but you know, if he loses, you can't blame it on the weight cut in this kind of spot. The Leech is a legit dude that's got a great gas tank that hits hard. If he was going to clip him, he probably was going to clip him regardless of the weight.
I absolutely agree with you there. Shout out to the guy earlier that was saying round 1 Lee KO. You can keep spamming that in the chat.
Yeah, you spam it again. No, you're back on.
I'm joking. Yeah, so I don't know if we're getting face-offs. Like, what do you want to call it? You want to call another maybe 10, 15 minutes if they do face-offs, or how do you want to go about this?
You know?
Or are you going to call it? Because I don't blame you if you got to call it.
They've got the ceremonials, so I don't think they're going to be doing.
Oh yeah, yes, you're right. Sorry, I totally forgot about the ceremonials.
Yeah, they'll do the ceremonials in the morning. So at this point,
9 a.m. Eastern time. So
exactly.
6 hours. Within 6 hours time, they're going to be doing the ceremonial. So yeah,
I gotta get some sleep and go get an energy drink so I can be up for those.
I'm going to call it as well too. So yeah, Clint, obviously appreciate you answering the call. I thought it was a blast. I can't believe 2 hours and 6 minutes away went just like that. This would have been way more excruciating waiting for a Khamzat Chimaev by myself and the chat. Shout out to the chat. I'm sure you guys would have kept me nice and comfortable, but Clint brought the fans as well too. We got the Locky late night fan squad up to 120, 130 live viewers right now. So I appreciate everybody checking it out. Make sure you guys hit the like on the way out. Hit that subscribe as well too. Clint obviously going to be dropping his the undefeated weigh-in show tomorrow. So make sure you guys go check that out on Pub Sports Radio if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Obviously, if you're following me, more than likely you're following Clint, but make sure you guys follow him on Twitter at DiehardMMAPod. You guys can see it on the screen there. And yeah, Clint, anything else you want to plug on the back end here?
No, that's about it, man. I need to get some damn sleep. The undefeated show will be up in the morning, and then of course I'll be tweeting out my final card for the bets and things like that. Probably tomorrow afternoon. Put it all together at the end there. And yeah, man, like you said, if you're following me and you're not following Locke, I don't know what you're doing. He's essentially my brother. He's the thunder to my lightning. So make sure you get on over, support the guy. And this was fun, man. Thank you for the invite. This isn't going to happen very much, and it was a blast. I'll be a little sleep deprived tomorrow, but I think it was well worth it.
Hashtag worth it, Clint. Hashtag worth it. But no, absolutely. Yeah, I think people enjoy the fact that we do shit like this together. So
Justin, how dare you?
Yeah,
Justin, how dare you?
What's he saying? Cowboys.
Vikings are going to kick the shit out of the No, I'm
fuck
kidding.
that
That's
NFL
actually
talk. No NFL talk on my channel. I'm joking. You can respond to him if you'd like. Then I'll get
I
you
expect it to be high scoring. I don't know if my Vikings will win, but it should be a fun fight. I think it'll come down to whoever has the ball last, if I'm being honest.
All right, there you guys go. Good luck on your bets. Again, for myself, tomorrow night, or I guess tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, me and Olivier Obama are going over the card for you guys one last time, and we'll see if Hamza Chimaev actually ends up making an extra half pound, or if he just goes out there and decides to rehydrate, because that's probably the best way to go about it now. Clint, once again, appreciate you joining me, and shout out to everybody that was in the chat already. Good luck on your bets. Let's fucking go.